Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro, world's first AI-powered pro-grade camera.
I now request the Honorable Prime Minister to launch NDTV World and address the summit.
It was the grand launch of NDTV World by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. NDTV World, as he laid out his vision for the India century at the NDTV World Summit.
ऐसी सदी जिसमें भारत के प्रयासों से दुनिया में स्थिरता आए,
in the presence of those who are shaping our future.
मेरी तरफ से आपको ढेर सारी शुभकामनाएं हैं।
NDTV World, your new home for global news is here.
We reached an agreement on patrolling. We have gone back to where the situation was in 2020, and we can say with that the disengagement process with China, you can say, has been completed. The understanding, to my knowledge, is that we will be able to do the patrolling which we were doing in 2020.
I've been reporting on all issues, big and small, from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital, Mumbai.
India's IT capital is always buzz. It's literally a city that never sleeps. And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters.
Welcome back. In an exclusive interview with NDTV, the state BJP chief of Jharkhand, Babulal Mandi, he spoke on infiltration. He said that he will set up an SIT over infiltration and that he will identify all the infiltrators. In fact, Babulal Mandi, he attacked the Jharkhand Chief Minister Hemant Soren, saying that promises, they were not fulfilled.
झारखंड की राजनीति में शायद बाबूलाल मरांडी एकमात्र नेता हैं जो सामान्य सीट से न केवल लोकसभा का चुनाव लड़ा बल्कि लगातार विधानसभा का चुनाव भी सामान्य सीट से लड़ते हैं। आदिवासी होकर सामान्य सीट से लड़ना आपको लगता नहीं कि बड़ा जोखिम उठाते हैं?
अरे यार जोखिम क्या, मेरा घर द्वार यहीं पर है, यहीं हम पले बढ़े हैं, जवान हुए हैं यहीं पर, और अपने मिट्टी से अगर हम नहीं लड़े तो कहाँ से जा कर के दूसरा जगहों से लड़ेंगे। दूसरा जगह से 98-99 में MP थे दुमका से, उसके बाद तो फिर हम अपने घर ही चले आए। तो मुझे लगता है कि हमारा घर है, ये स्वाभाविक हमारा क्षेत्र है, और जब स्वाभाविक क्षेत्र है तो वहाँ जनता का भी वैसे ही प्यार मिलता है। ऐसे विधानसभा में कोडरमा लोकसभा भी यहाँ से भी 4 से 14 तक हमने प्रतिनिधित्व किया है, और जनता ने भरपूर हमें साथ दिया है, सहयोग दिया है, और विधानसभा में भी सहयोग दिया है।
इस बार के चुनाव में मुख्य मुद्दा क्या है?
देखिए, मुद्दा बिल्कुल स्पष्ट है। एक तो हमने कहा कि भाई झारखंड में जो सरकार रही है 5 वर्षों तक यहाँ के लोगों को ठगा है इन्होंने। गरीबों से कहा था कि भाई साल में 72,000 रुपया देंगे, नहीं दिया। महिलाओं को कहा था कि इन्होंने 2000 रुपया चूल्हा खर्च देंगे महीना में, नहीं दिया। लड़कियों से इन्होंने कहा था कि जब शादी होगी तो सोने की सिक्का देंगे, उन लोगों को भी नहीं दिया। बूढ़े बुजुर्ग हैं, विधवा है, दिव्यांग है, उनको कहा था 2500 रुपया पेंशन देंगे। पूरे 5 साल होने को चला है, बल्कि पेंशन पिछले 8-9 महीना से उन लोगों का भी बंद पड़ा हुआ है जगह जगह पर, वो भी नहीं दिया। नौजवानों को तो उन्होंने अपने बाबूजी का उन्होंने कसम खाया था, लेकिन और 5 लाख नौकरी देने के उन्होंने नहीं दी। दुर्भाग्य क्या है, कई योजना तो हेमंत सोरेन जी जमीन पर उतार ही नहीं पाते हैं, काम ही नहीं करते हैं।
आप लोगों ने घुसपैठ को एक बड़ा मुद्दा बनाया है, क्या घुसपैठ के लिए राज्य सरकार जिम्मेवार है?
बिल्कुल जिम्मेवार है भाई। राज्य में जब कोई भी घुसपैठ करते हैं, मतदाता सूची में वो नाम डालवाते हैं, वोटर क्या कहते हैं ये आधार कार्ड बनवाते हैं, राशन कार्ड बनवाते हैं, उनके लिए ज़मीन का पट्टा दिलाते हैं। तो ये सब काम तो राज्य सरकार का काम है देखने का, लेकिन राज्य सरकार तो मानने को ही तैयार नहीं है। यहाँ तक कि जब झारखंड हाई कोर्ट ने कहा कि राज्य सरकार के होम सेक्रेटरी और भारत सरकार के होम सेक्रेटरी मिल करके एक कमेटी गठित करेंगे और घुसपैठियों की पहचान करेंगे, लेकिन उन्होंने तो उसके विरोध में सुप्रीम कोर्ट चले गए हैं।
अगर आपकी सरकार बनेगी तो आप कैसे इस समस्या
देखिए, हमने तो बार बार कहा है कि वे SIT गठित करा देंगे और एक एक लोगों को पहचान किया जाएगा, जो भी विदेशी यहाँ आकर के घुसपैठे बसे हैं, चाहे वो वोटर लिस्ट में नाम चढ़ाए हो, राशन कार्ड में नाम चढ़ाए हो, जमीन जायदाद में नाम चढ़ाए, उनको चुन चुन करके यहाँ से बाहर किया जाएगा।
And Anil Ambani's Reliance Power has been barred from bidding in future tenders by the Solar Energy Corporation of India, or SECI, for 3 years due to submitting fake bank guarantees in the last round of bidding. This move comes as a significant setback for Reliance Power, which has been trying to revive its fortunes. In fact, my colleague Sakshi Bajaj joins us to get us more on this. Sakshi, what can be the key implications of this ban?
Well, that's right. A significant setback for Reliance Power. This, of course, is coming from the Solar Energy Corporation of India. Like you mentioned, this barring really of Reliance Power for up to 3 years from future tenders comes as a huge setback. And the significance really, significance of course means in terms of future projects, future tenders, that really will be the immediate impact. Remember, this comes just a few hours and a few days after Reliance Power has been looking at clearing debts for its subsidiaries. So, of course, this is not just a setback for Reliance Power, but also all of Reliance Power's subsidiaries at large. And of course, while details are going to be looked at, analysts believe that this coming in at a time when Reliance Power is looking at, clearing all the debts and clearing all the various issues that the company has been embroiled in, with the subsidiaries included, this comes as a fresh setback from the Solar Energy Corporation of India.
Right. In fact, as far as markets are concerned, the markets are declining over 1% today, with the Sensex and Nifty both sliding down. Who are the main culprits behind this decline? Are geopolitical concerns and a fall in index heavyweights one of the factors? Well, let's go across to Sakshi to understand the reasons behind that. Sakshi, take it away and explain to us what are the details.
Absolutely. We have seen the benchmark indices, Nifty and the Sensex, decline over 1% in trade. We have seen metals and financials as well as pharma stocks really slide in trade today. So what really are the key reasons? Experts believe that, look, there are a whole host of reasons, but for analysts and experts at large, the key reasons really are, one is, of course, profit booking. The other is, of course, the focus shifting to interest rates at large globally. Remember, the Fed meeting is underway, and the projections are that the Fed will now not cut rates and will cut rates slowly, if at all, and not as swiftly as was earlier anticipated. And remember, this will impact US markets and global markets at large. So there is a concern and a sense of nervousness really ahead of the Fed meeting outcome. There is also expectations and reports suggesting that the Bank of Japan will increase rates and raise rates in January really. Now, what does this tend to do? This does tend to look at, in the past we have seen an unwinding in a sense of yen trades, which essentially means a sense of selling in those trades. And so therefore that report and these projections coming in at a time when, of course, there are geopolitical tensions like you mentioned across the globe, comes as a fresh blow for markets.
All right, Sakshi Bajaj, thank you very much for getting us all the details and breaking it down for all our viewers. Meanwhile, Australian government says that it will introduce world's first legislation to ban children under the 16 years age from social media. Prime Minister Albanese, he said that the proposed laws are likely to be tabled in the Parliament next week. He also mentioned that these laws are aimed at mitigating the harm social media was inflicting on Australian children.
Social media is doing harm to our kids, and I'm calling time on it. I've spoken to thousands of parents, grandparents, aunties and uncles. They, like me, are worried sick about the safety of our kids online. And I want Australian parents and families to know that the government has your back. I want parents to be able to say, sorry mate, it's against the law for me to get you to do this. Now, government's proposed age is 16. That decision was made in Cabinet on Monday.
Let us get talking to the youth and understand what do they think about this ban. Hi, tell us your name and...
Hi, I am Archit. I'm doing History Honours from Hindu, second year, undergrad.
Right. And what do you think about this ban on social media apps by the Australian government?
From what I understand of this, we have this problem in India as well of people from a very young age getting into social media, and it does have a deteriorating effect on how their personalities develop. But again, when we are talking of entirely banning social media for all of this entire age group, then that does pose a problem, because it's very similar to, I think, perhaps let's say liquor ban in India or something like that. Then what happens is that people go to alternate. They do it sneakingly, they do it discreetly in some fashion that their parents don't get to know, and that all might lead to more problematic issues. So that's what I understand.
Tell us your name, and the main motive behind this ban is with respect to mental health concerns of growing adolescent children. What is your understanding of this ban? How far will it be impactful?
My name is Aditi and I'm pursuing my master's from DU. See, we live in a time when as a whole in the world, especially in our country, we're dealing with the phenomena of fake news the most. You know, we're the most heavily impacted country with from fake news. But I feel, as far as mental health is concerned, of course, I am way beyond the age which has been, supposedly banned in Australia. But I still feel being on social media from that younger age definitely puts in a lot of stress on children as they grow up. Their perceptions of how they look, how their body looks and what kind of stuff is put. So obviously and it's not just children, it's adults as well. Whatever that we are seeing, our perceptions are formed that way, whether it is political, whether it is related to pop culture, what we like, what we dislike. It's so heavily impacted by social media that, of course, mental health is bound to get, messed up.
And US Vice President Kamala Harris conceded the presidential election to Donald Trump and said that though she had conceded the election, however, she has not conceded the fight that fueled this campaign, as she put it. Now, fight for freedom, opportunity, dignity for all the people is what Ms. Harris said in a speech that lasted 12 minutes. Kamala Harris also, in fact, added, and I quote, "Do not despair. This is not a time to throw up our hands. This is a time to roll up our sleeves. This is a time to organize, to mobilize, and to stay engaged for the sake of freedom and justice and the future that we all know we can build together." Listen in.
But we must accept the results of this election. Earlier today, I spoke with President-elect Trump and congratulated him on his victory. I also told him that we will help him and his team with their transition, and that we will engage in a peaceful transfer of power. While I concede this election, I do not concede the fight that fueled this campaign. The fight for freedom, for opportunity, for fairness, and the dignity of all people. I know many people feel like we are entering a dark time, but for the benefit of us all, I hope that is not the case. But here's the thing, America, if it is, let us fill the sky with the light of a brilliant, brilliant billion of stars. The light of optimism, of faith, of truth, and service.
Now, as Donald Trump is set to be the 47th US president, what does this victory mean for Donald Trump, and what does it mean for the two wars that are taking place at the moment? My colleague Vishal Vivek has more details.
So Donald Trump's return to the White House has potential to reshape the US's foreign policy. Trump has said in the past that he will end the Russia-Ukraine war in a day when he makes a comeback to the White House. Although he hasn't provided any specifics about the plans, the war has been going on for more than 2.5 years now, and there seems to be no end in sight. The conflict-ridden Middle East will be one of the key areas for the incoming Trump administration. Trump has promised to bring peace to the region, but then again, he hasn't given any details on how he plans to stop the two big conflicts in the region, which involve Israel, Hamas, and Hezbollah. These conflicts have killed more than 45,000 people, most of them women and children in Gaza. There is no ceasefire deal in sight at the moment, and how Trump steers the Gaza and Lebanon ceasefire deals remains to be seen. Now to China. How Trump manages relations with China is one of the most talked about topics when it comes to US's foreign policy. Experts suggest that Trump is likely to increase import tariffs on China, which would most likely invite countermeasures from China. On the other hand, there is also a likelihood that Trump could be open to pragmatic deals with Chinese President Xi Jinping.
And finally, a heartwarming story. The Madras High Court has allowed a veterinarian to interact with a partially paralyzed baby monkey he treated for 10 months in Coimbatore. The little animal, which suffered multiple DOF, has now been separated and shifted to the Arignar Anna Zoological Park in Chennai. The doctor now seeks custody of the baby monkey, and as he has not fully recovered and hasn't become independent, the court has permitted him to visit the monkey on Friday and file a report. Time now for a very short break. More news and updates on the other side.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro, world's first AI-powered pro-grade camera.
NDTV proudly upholds its legacy of trust and credibility. According to the prestigious Reuters Institute's Digital News Report 2024, NDTV is the top-most news platform in the country. Number 1 in both online and offline reach in India. Beating all its competition, NDTV stands for trust.
Hello and welcome to India Sense, where I speak with global opinion makers.
The United States has made a strategic decision over the last 20 years to move closer to India.
So a $7 trillion economy seems a perfectly conceivable number.
If you want to be a national party, it's that you sort of accept the way the world is rather than want to endlessly hark back to how it was.
Modi is promoting the digitization of the economy, which is accelerating growth in the country.
तालियों के साथ हम स्वागत करेंगे आदरणीय मोदी जी का।
छत्रपति शिवाजी महाराज की। Corruption first, आमचा agenda nation first.
घोषणा आणि जनतेचे पैसे लुटणं
कट कमिशन आणि करप्शनला आमच्याकडे थारा नाही त्यांचा परिवारवाद आमचा महाराष्ट्रवाद
महाराष्ट्रामध्ये 1,75,000 जागा रिक्त आहेत पण का भरत नाही राज्याची जनतेच्या घमाच्या पैशाची तिजोरी लुटण्यासाठी हे सरकार आहे
पूर्वीच्या सरकारच्या काळामध्ये निधी देताना त्यांना असं वाटायचं की त्यांच्याच खिशातले पैसे चालले शेतकऱ्यांना मोफत वीज देण्याचं काम आपल्या सरकारने सुरू केलं
I want to thank the American people for the extraordinary honor of being elected your 47th president.
Donald triumphs. What does Trump's win mean for America, for the world, for the wars, and for India-US relations? Non-stop coverage on NDTV. Top analysts and voices from the ground. Extensive coverage on NDTV.
NDTV proudly presents NDTV World Summit 2024.
A very good afternoon. You're watching NDTV 24/7. I'm Divya Vada. We have a whole lot lined up, including the Supreme Court ordering the liquidation of the Jet Airways. We'll get you all the details. But first, let's get you the headlines. Is it the end of the road for Jet 2.0? We're talking about the airlines where the Supreme Court has ordered liquidation of Jet Airways. The resolution planned by the new investors 5 years ago has still not been implemented. Is the BJP versus the India bloc over Article 370 abrogation, and the Assembly session was adjourned till tomorrow over the special status resolution. The BJP says that the India bloc wants special status for their greed. That's what Smriti Irani had to say. And the Maharashtra Congress has expelled rebel candidates who fought against official NVA candidates. They have been suspended for 6 years. Action has been taken against those candidates, and the expulsion is for 6 years. The centre doubles the stubble burning fine. This is after the Supreme Court came down heavily. It's according to the new rules. The farmers having an area of land of less than 2 acres shall now have to pay a compensation of 5,000 rupees as opposed to 2,500 earlier. And the Supreme Court has set aside a decision of the Rajasthan High Court to exercise its powers under Section 482 of the Code of Criminal Procedures to quash a sexual harassment case based on compromise between the accused and the survivor. Let's get you our top story, and that is in regard to the Jet Airways. And this is, the Supreme Court that has ordered the liquidation of the airlines. This is a 5-year-old resolution plan that hasn't been implemented yet. And those are the grounds on which the Supreme Court's order has come about. The investors had submitted a plan to restart the airlines, but has failed to implement that very plan. And to get more on this, we have Vishnu joining us. Vishnu, this marks the final chapter in the airline's long struggle to revive itself.
Well, Divya, it does appear to be the case, which would be very, very sad, because remember the original Jet Airways, which was widely considered to be among India's finest, if not the finest airline, went bankrupt in 2019. After that, there was a sense of hope that, something would emerge and Jet would fly once again. There was a consortium which was formed with the Calrock Jalan Group. Calrock is an international investor. Jalan is a Middle Eastern businessman with a large set of corporate holdings in the Middle East. They came together. But 5 years later, they've not been able to implement the plan which existed to get the airline off the ground. Just getting that plan worked out through a resolution professional was something which took years by itself. And there was a great sense of hope that the airline would actually fly. But that's not to be the case, because the Supreme Court today clearly saying that 5 years after this resolution plan was given, nothing has been happened. Creditors who were owed dues have still not been paid. And the manner in which the National Companies Law Appellate Tribunal had gone about and allowed this consortium to use a part of the funds they had infused as a first tranche towards the payment of creditors was legally unacceptable. But let me explain to you in simple terms why the airline has collapsed. There was a plan in place, as I mentioned. There was a fund infusion of 200 crores. That amount has now been forfeited according to the Supreme Court. There was a performance bank guarantee which was required of 150 crores. However, despite this fund infusion, the airline couldn't the consortium couldn't generate 350 crores to actually pay off the creditors and get the airline started. Of the 350 crores which was due, there was an employee due, the old Jet Airways employees, of 226 crores. And what the plan which the new investors had was to use a part of the 150 crore performance bank guarantee towards the first installment of repayments. However, even though that had been cleared by the NCLAT, the Supreme Court said that that was illegal. So the court has now ordered that the airline's assets and everything else be liquidated, and the initial fund infusion of 200 crores stands forfeited. Very, very sad news for Indian aviation.
Right, Vishnu, very sad news coming about, and of course no options seem to be the case. And we also have Sunil Prabhu joining us. Sunil, the Supreme Court invoked its extraordinary powers to order the liquidation of the airlines in view of the peculiar and alarming circumstances that the resolution plan has yet not been implemented. It's been 5 years since. Take us through the proceedings in court.
Well, as the judge who spoke for the judgment, Justice Padewala, making it clear on behalf of Chief Justice of India and Justice Manoj Mishra, this was an eye-opener. It's nothing about sad or, the fact that it's a sad day for aviation. It is about people who have lent money, public money. State Bank of India, along with its various lenders, had put in public money with Jet Airways. And that is why they had to liquidate, to ensure that they get back that money, because it's people like you and me who have invested through our shares and various other government undertakings and funding that this airline was being propped up. And today, if they are unable to come up with a resolution plan for 5 years, the fact that, you try to bring in a consortium, they also have now lost. They have forfeited their 200 crores. And the performance guarantee that has been done, it will be important for lenders in particular banks. That 150 crores is given back. This is definitely a sad day for aviation, but it's also an important issue in terms of being credit worthy. It's also ensuring that the public at large, their money is accounted for. It cannot be taken for granted. And it's in this context that people whose life savings are with these banks do not take a haircut. And it's in that context that the State Bank of the Supreme Court has ruled in favor of closing and liquidating the Jet Airways and ensuring that that money comes back to their account to whom they had already lent, and to ensure that this liquidation process comes back it helps the investors who had already invested in Jet Airways.
Right. Thank you so much, Sunil, for joining us with those details. And it was the BJP versus the India bloc as far as the assembly session of Jammu and Kashmir is concerned, and that has been adjourned till tomorrow, Friday, because of the special status resolution. The BJP versus the India bloc over the Article 370 abrogation. Do remember this came up by the Deputy Chief Minister yesterday in the ongoing assembly session, and it was the Jammu and Kashmir Assembly. There was ruckus that erupted, and today the assembly session was adjourned over that resolution. Now, the BJP has gone on to attack the India bloc. It is Smriti Irani who's gone on to say that it is the India bloc that wants a special status only for their greed. Let's listen in.
जिस रेजोल्यूशन को इंडिया अलायंस ने कल पारित किया, उसके अंतर्गत वो जम्मू कश्मीर में भारत के संविधान के खिलाफ एक नई जंग लड़ते हुए दिखाई देते हैं। आज मैं इंडिया अलायंस के नेताओं से पूछना चाहती हूं कि भारत की पार्लियामेंट और सुप्रीम कोर्ट का जो निर्णय सबको मान्य है, उस निर्णय का अपमान, उस निर्णय की अवहेलना करने का अधिकार कांग्रेस को एनसी को देश में किसने दिया?
जो हम लोग हैं जो हिंदुस्तान को मजबूत करना चाहते हैं, ये हम लोग हैं जो भारत माता को मजबूत करना चाहते हैं, ये वो लोग हैं जो ना भारत माता के, ना देश के, ना किसी और के, ये सिर्फ अपने आप के। हमने लोगों के हित की बात की है मेरे भाई, हमने अपने बात नहीं की। लोग चाहते हैं जो नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस बोल रही है, जो मेरे लीडर फारूक अब्दुल्ला साहब बोल रहा है, उमर अब्दुल्ला साहब बोल रहा है, जो सुरेंद्र चौधरी बोल रहा है, वो लोगों के हित की बात है। जो ये बात करें ये अपने हित की करें। थैंक यू।
And to get more on this, we have my colleague Nazir joining us. Nazir, in a very high-pitched attack, Smriti Irani was heard saying that there's no question of going back to, the special status.
Well, clearly BJP is using this resolution to target Congress. When they talk about the India alliance, target Congress ahead of Maharashtra and Jharkhand elections. That's why you hear the Smriti Irani, senior BJP leader and former minister, talking about it, and they want to wage a war against Indian constitution in Jammu and Kashmir by demanding special status in Jammu and Kashmir. Yesterday, when the resolution was moved, we saw pandemonium in Jammu and Kashmir Assembly, and BJP members termed it anti-national. And since yesterday, they have not allowed J&K Assembly to function. They are saying first withdraw the resolution, and then we'll allow the Assembly to function. In fact, what this resolution says, they are saying that it was unilaterally removed, special status of Jammu and Kashmir, and a dialogue should be initiated for the restoration of the special status of Jammu and Kashmir. There's no specific mention of 370 or 35A. That is why, regional parties like PDP and the People's Conference, others, they corner the National Conference and saying, look, your resolution is very weak, it is a surrender, and they actually, these 6 members from the regional parties, they try to bring another resolution which they say is strong, clearly mentioning restoration of 370 and 35 and the special status. But having said that, we saw for whole, when the assembly session was convened this morning, there was pandemonium. One member who tried to get a banner demanding restoration of 370. Then there was a scuffle with the BJP members, lot of fisticuffs. Some of the members were marshaled out after they jumped into the well of the house. So a lot of chaos and pandemonium in Jammu and Kashmir Assembly since yesterday after this resolution was passed by the Assembly through voice vote. Around 60 members supported the resolution and 28 members of the BJP opposed it. So it has become a really very touchy issue for both the sides. National Conference is saying, come what may, this resolution will not be withdrawn. We will fight for the democratic rights and the constitutional guarantees besides the restoration of statehood, what the center is demanding. And BJP members are saying the National Conference should have been focusing on the statehood and the development. We would have supported them on restoration of statehood, but instead they have gone back to the issue of special status or 370, which they are strongly opposing. So it's unlikely that Assembly may function tomorrow. BJP members are adamant that they will not allow the House to function even tomorrow.
Right, Nazir, of course, Smriti Irani, they're also saying that yesterday's resolution, shows the support of the India bloc towards extremism and terrorism.
Well, that's what when when BJP has been talking about 370, they have been always linking it the separatism and the terrorism. Having said that, Congress has been in a fix since yesterday. They were not actually forthcoming. In fact, Congress State President Tariq Hamid Kara saying the special status demand is like 16 other states in the rest of the country have. It's not the 370 or 35A. So Congress is trying to play safe, and some Congress insiders are telling us even the timing, they were not very happy with the timing of this resolution. They say it may impact their prospects in the Maharashtra and Jharkhand. Also, the way they are seeing now BJP playing it out big ahead of the Maharashtra Assembly elections, and they are seeing perhaps this may be a handle to target Congress, even as the Congress doesn't have much say in the J&K Assembly, because National Conference on its own has a majority. Congress doesn't have even a single ministry in the government, yet they are part of India bloc and they are sharing the blame, but on the ground they don't have much say when it comes passage of the resolution, because Congress was not actually willing that this resolution should come at this time when elections are around the corner in Maharashtra and Jharkhand.
Right, thank you so much, Nazir, for joining us with those details. And to know more on this, we have Dr. Sameer Kaul of the National Conference joining us. Sir, yesterday's resolution shows Congress and the India Alliance leaders' tactical support when it comes to terrorism. That's how Smriti Irani has reacted to the resolution that was announced by the Deputy Chief Minister. Your reaction to this?
There is nothing much to react except the fact that we played out in the Assembly very, very legally, very constitutionally what we had promised our electorate in Jammu and Kashmir. Not just Kashmir, even Jammu for that matter. So people were not happy with the scrapping of the 2 articles. People are not happy with the removal of the special status. People are not happy with the union territory status. So we had promised them that as soon as they give us the mandate, we will constitutionally, legally, within our rights, put this forward, which we did. And we have enough strength in the thing, and it passed. Now, the response to it, that is what your next question is. The response to it by the BJP and the other parties is totally dictated by their domestic politics, because BJP may have stakes up in Maharashtra and Congress may have stakes up, but that is for them to see. Our primary responsibility and allegiance lies to the honorable people of Jammu and Kashmir state.
Dr. Kaul, also Smriti Irani heard saying that the India bloc wants the special status only for their own greed.
That may be her point of view, and I don't think that is worth reaction at all.
Right. Thank you so much, Dr. Kaul, for speaking with us today. Moving on now, the Congress, as far as the Congress in Maharashtra is concerned, has gone ahead and expelled rebels for 6 years. We are talking about rebels who had, the rebels that have now been suspended for a long period of 6 years. And to get more on this, we have my colleague Radhika joining us. Let's just first listen in to Radhika, who spoke with Ramesh Chintala on the Congress expelling the Maharashtra rebels. Let's listen in.
My question to you, sir, take us through the guarantees that have been promised by MVA. They are very similar to what the Mahayuti has guaranteed.
No, it's not at all similar. It is similar to the Karnataka and Telangana pattern. And guarantees has been first introduced by Congress party in Karnataka. It has been copied by so many BJP states. But we are totally committed to the guarantees which is given to the people of Maharashtra.
Those are women-centric, youth-centric, farmer-centric, very similar to, what Mahayuti had been pointing at.
They had not implemented anything. Okay. Farm loan waiver was done by Uddhav Thackeray's MVA government. Yeah. It has been copied by them. Okay. So this is, after long deliberations, we have come to a conclusion to help the people and the needy people who are suffering because of the NDA government policies.
But all the
parties are doing this.
Okay, are all the parties in tandem? Because Uddhav Thackeray has put out another manifesto, but are they in tandem with what the MVA has released?
Yeah.
So last question, Congress has decided to expel several of the rebel leaders, rebel candidates. Take us through those details.
Expelled.
Expel for how many years, sir?
6 years.
Okay.
And we have my colleague Radhika joining us to get us more on this. Radhika, take us through this action that has been taken against those rebel candidates who fought against the candidates of the MVA.
Absolutely, MVA cracking its whip on several of the rebel leaders, the rebel candidates who filed their nomination despite the instructions from party leaders. First, it was Uddhav Sena. Uddhav Thackeray decided to expel at least 6 of its rebel candidates who had filed nominations despite official nominations being filed by several of the candidates, and they were given an ultimatum. But some of them, while withdrew nominations, many did not withdraw their nominations, which is why Shiv Sena had also decided to expel post Uddhav's action. Now Congress party also deciding to expel many of the rebel candidates. How many they are, that's not clear at this point, but there have been multiple candidates who had filed nominations, who had rebel candidates who had filed nominations. Many of them did withdraw, but many of them decided to not withdraw and go along in the fray. However, Congress party not leaving any stone unturned in taking action. They've been expelled for 6 years is what Ramesh Channitala has told us. We know for a fact that at least about 80 to 100 candidates from within MV as well as Mahayuti had filed for nominations despite several of the candidates from the same alliance filing for nominations, and there had been a duplication, many also filing as independents as well. But after ultimatum was given by both the parties, both the alliances, and as nomination withdrawal dates came close, several of them did take back. Negotiations and discussions happened, and many decided to withdraw these nominations, but many failed to do so, which is why MVA deciding to take action, expelling many of these rebel candidates. Both Uddhav Sena and Congress parties have decided to expel candidates, and also Ramesh Channitala did rule out any sort of friendly fight that could possibly happen within MVA as far as assembly elections are concerned.
Right. Thank you so much, Radhika Ramaswamy, for getting us those details. Well, switching tracks now, the Supreme Court has set aside a Rajasthan High Court order which had allowed the quashing of an FIR in a sexual harassment case which is related to a minor. The top court said that a compromise cannot lead to quashing of the FIR. The case was filed against a teacher in Rajasthan by a 15-year-old girl. Both parties apparently reached a compromise later, which is when the accused teacher had approached the High Court. While the High Court had allowed the relief, now the Supreme Court has gone ahead and overturned that. And to get more on this, we have Khushbu Jain joining us, advocate of the Supreme Court. Khushbu Jain, if what was really said in court, the Supreme Court has gone on to say that no matter what the understanding is reached in terms of compensation, but that really does not mean that the case is going to be dismissed and the FIR, the criminal proceedings, will not proceed in accordance with law.
See, this is done in the interest of the victim. If you see the present case, she was a minor when that commission of the crime, that she was a victim, she underwent that trauma. So tomorrow, coming to an aspect where family can come in that, okay, let's go on with the compromise, can actually take away her rights. And also one has to look into, there is not just one thing, there are a lot of things added to this. One is the aspect whether they have to look into the aspect whether the petitions which have been moved are in the interest of the victim. That's one and primary thing which has to be looked upon. But if you look into the grounds for not dealing with compromise, that a compromise can be entered, can primarily go to an aspect that these are the crimes against the state. These are the bodily crimes that have been done. Like, for example, a rape, a murder, or these are the things which are done against the state. And for that matter, one cannot enter into a compromise between the parties that, okay, let's enter into a compromise tomorrow. There has been exceptional judgments by the Supreme Court where they thought that while understanding whether sexual assault victim, it is in the favor of that sexual assault victim to quash the criminal proceedings purely on the ground of compromise, only where they understand that the offense, whether where it is in the best interest of the minor victim and not against and whether continuation of that proceedings against the accused and the participation of that minor victim in those proceedings will be adversely affecting the mental, physical, and emotional health or well-being of that victim or a minor victim for that matter. This was one of the judgment which was being passed by the Supreme Court and also in one of the matters by different high courts. Right, but if I have to summarize and say you in a broad principles, quashing a criminal proceedings based on compromise arrived between the parties, whereas Section 482 of CRPC is concerned, I think that's something that is being done primarily to prevent any abuse of process of any court or to secure end of justice. Now, if I see there are compromises which can be done forcefully also on the victim, and because of that force, they come to an aspect that I want to settle the matter or I don't want to continue the matter. That's where I think they are protecting the victim, that there is no compromise or there is no abuse of the process of any court proceedings or which comes in between securing the end of the justice for that victim.
Right, there's no buying your way out, and this of course comes on the heels of the Supreme Court that's directed all trial courts to order financial compensation for women and for children, the survivors in cases of sexual assault, while convicting or acquitting the accused. So, this comes really just on the heels of, that order of the Supreme Court.
Absolutely. See, if you'll, one has to understand the part that there has to be some, the ingredients of the complaint have to be very strong, and one has to look into that they have gone in. It's true, and then it goes to a level where people can take away the complaints either out of pressure, societal pressure, or pressure by the other side, or pressure by the parents or the guardians of the victim, on the aspect that this is bringing in a lot of shame or agony to the entire family or to the society or to the future of the victim for that matter. So looking into all those aspects, if a victim goes for compromising or understanding or getting into some kind of a settlement with the accused, becomes a doubtful scenario that one can get into a settlement like this. But one of the case, if something like that happens, again, as I said earlier, looking into that, the matter in hand requires that kind of interpretation and that kind of understanding that recusing them from the matter is much better than continuing the matter. But otherwise, if you'll see, these are the matters, again, I will repeat, these are the matters which are crime against the state, and a party together cannot enter into a compromise, because 99% of the cases it is being seen that these compromises are out of pressure. It can be direct pressure or indirect pressure, societal pressure or a family pressure, or looking into the future. And for that matter, we have come up with a lot of provisions right now that identity of the victim can be always hidden when these kind of matters continue. They can go anonymous, and also the aspect that hearings can be done online. The statements can be recorded online. So to understand those provisions so that the societal impact doesn't come in is where the courts have, where the laws have been changed and transformed. The last three transformation of our IPC, CRPC and CPC have been, Evidence Act have been seeing that aspect, that how women-centric laws are being becoming, so that there is no more victimization of a victim. And I feel these kind of settlements in 99% of the cases are because of that victimization of the victim. And I think that's where the court has taken the very strong stand. Again, I would say an exception of 1% can always be given. But apart from that, I think these are heinous crimes which have been committed. And if we continue, these things will continue, because tomorrow they will say, okay, ho gaya. You know, these criminals will get more stance to continue doing these things, and they can say that by money pressure or some other pressure, societal pressure, we can ask them to take away the matters, and we can enter into a settlement. So I think that's where none of us should step down.
The case, of course, the FIR that has been filed, and of course, this is in regard to that case. Of course, the Supreme Court there overturning the decision that was taken by the High Court. Thank you so much, Khushbu Jain, for joining us. Switching tracks to more news now, and it's the Indian government that's taken strict measures to combat the massive pollution that's been caused by stubble burning in the Delhi NCR region. The farmers found burning crop residue will face on-the-spot fines administered by the Commission for Air Quality Management in coordination with local authorities now. Now, according to these new rules, the farmers having an area or a land of less than 2 acres shall now have to pay a compensation fee. We're talking about 5,000 rupees against a previous fine of 2,500. And to get more on this, we have my colleague Sunil back with us. Sunil, vehicular pollution, when we're talking about in terms of the kind of compensation that the farmers will have to pay is now going to be in connection with the size of the farmland, and according to the farmland size is what they will have to now pay the kind of compensation. And now the Supreme Court, they're coming down heavily and doubling that compensation.
That's right. Up to 2 acres, 5,000, then between 2 and 5, 10,000, and then it goes down to 30,000 onwards. So basically, this is after prodding from the Supreme Court, where it had called the CAQM toothless, that the center was not really helping and facilitating in ensuring stubble burning really stops, and wanted certain powers to be given to the CAQM by the amendment that had been brought in through the Act and the Air Pollution Act. It had become really virtually difficult for various local authorities to have penal powers. And it's in that backdrop now a substantial legal change has been done. This, of course, as I said, on the prodding of the Supreme Court. The big question is now, will this help in stopping stubble burning? Will action be taken at the ground, be it in Punjab, be it in Haryana or Uttar Pradesh, and ensure that these places don't become smoke zones and affect Delhi. So it's definitely in that larger context that these amendments have been done. The Supreme Court will hear this on the 14th of November. We'll have to wait and see how they view this entire change and whether they're satisfied and the measures that are being taken by the CAQM. Because they've asked even the Delhi government and the Delhi police to revert back on a perpetual ban on firecrackers, and why they weren't able to adhere to ensuring that this Diwali things would have been better, because it was worse than previous last 2 years. So it's in that backdrop we'll have to wait and see how things play out, how they revert and how the Supreme Court views the entire issue.
Right, Sunil, of course, the Supreme Court there coming down heavily, and which is why some action finally is being taken by the government in regard to the pollution problem, which is perennial. And of course, this Parali problem that we see year on year and no solutions there. Of course, now that compensation that the farmers will have to pay, the poor farmers will have to pay, has now been doubled. Let's just switch tracks and staying with news as far as pollution is concerned. And it's not just stubble burning, it's not the firecrackers. The bans and the compensation that the government is putting in place might help to a certain extent, but it is the vehicular pollution which is the biggest contributor when it comes to the air pollution here in Delhi, which is highly toxic. We're talking about 51.1% of the pollution share coming from vehicular traffic, and that is because of the number of cars that have sharply increased over the last few years. Now, reports have suggested that vehicles are the largest contributors, especially when it comes to PM 2.5 levels, and other local sources include construction dust, industrial emissions and open burning of waste. So, high volume of vehicles in the Delhi NCR region is basically the reason why we're seeing this smog. Of course, the weather factors are coming into play, the wind speed is coming into play, but the sources, they have now, the CSE report has narrowed down on the sources, and the major contributor happens to be vehicular traffic.
Ma'am, you also spoke about a cost for clean air and also considering, you're emphasizing on local factors. So how can transport be, looked into with respect to mitigating this pollution problem every year?
So we are basically saying that transport is a major cause of source of pollution. And my colleagues have shown data today on how congestion is increasing, shown data in terms of not just vehicle purchase, but also in terms of congestion. Now, we know all that adds to pollution. Now, the only solution out of that means that you need cleaner fuel, cleaner vehicles, but that's a half solution, because even if I bring in BS6 vehicles and I add 6 times more vehicles, I've negated the impact. So the only way is to reduce the number of vehicles on the road.
Every year, all throughout, what will be your last word, on the take on pollution problems, on going, what is the way forward?
The way forward is to make sure you act through the year.
It is that time of year in Delhi NCR where people are left gasping for fresh air. Now, from several consecutive days, the AQI in Delhi has been recorded in very poor category. If we talk about today, the AQI has been recorded 366. That comes under the higher end of very poor category. Now, according to the IMD, the meteorological conditions are likely to be unfavorable till 12th of November, where wind speed will likely to be very slow. And also, what we can see and what the IMD is predicting is that the fog-like situation can be seen till 12th of November. Now, post-Diwali, the AQI has remained in very poor category. That is raising a serious health problem for the people who are living in Delhi NCR. According to a new report from the CAC, it is being stated that the highest contributor in the air pollution in Delhi is the vehicular pollution. Because of that, the AQI in Delhi is likely to be deteriorating further also. And what the CAC has said is that year-round, steps should be taken to put this air quality situation in control. Now, the Delhi government had taken and introduced 21 focus point initiatives to tackle and mitigate the air pollution. But what we are seeing from ground is that all of those measures are failing because the AQI is not, improving any further. And what we are seeing in the upcoming days, and as per the predictions of IMD also, is that the AQI, because of the meteorological factors, also will stay in the very severe category. And if the wind speeds get any slower, it is likely to reach the severe category as well. Now the local factors are the ones which are contributing largely to the AQI and to the pollution that is being seen in Delhi in the winter season, and because of the meteorological reasons also, this is what people are facing. Severe health hazards can also be seen, respiratory problems that people are facing who are living in Delhi NCR. Now for people also, it is very important that they stay inside of their house. If there is no important work they have to attend to, and if they are going outside, if they use public transport, they can contribute a little to improve the air quality further. With camera person Panchanan, this is Anushka Garg for NDTV.
Right, thank you so much for joining us with all those details. And we'll just switch tracks now to more news, and that's Anil Ambani's Reliance Power has been barred from bidding in the future tenders by the Solar Energy Corporation of India for 3 years due to submitting fake bank guarantees in the last round of bidding. This move comes as a significant setback for the Reliance Power, which has been trying to revive its fortunes. My colleague Sakshi Bajaj has all the answers. Sakshi, what can be the key implication of this ban?
Significant setback for Reliance Power. This, of course, is coming from the Solar Energy Corporation of India. Like you mentioned, this barring really of Reliance Power for up to 3 years from future tenders comes as a huge setback. And the significance of course means in terms of future projects, future tenders, that really will be the immediate impact. Remember, this comes just a few hours and a few days after Reliance Power has been looking at clearing debts for its subsidiaries. So, of course, this is not just a setback for Reliance Power, but also all of Reliance Power's subsidiaries at large. And of course, while details are going to be looked at, analysts believe that this coming in at a time when Reliance Power is looking at, clearing all the debts and clearing all the various issues that the company has been embroiled in, with the subsidiaries included, this comes as a fresh setback from the Solar Energy Corporation of India.
Thank you so much, Sakshi, for getting us those details. And switching tracks now to Karnataka, and the Waqf land row simmers with the chairman of the Waqf JPC, who is in Karnataka, meeting with farmers who are protesting against notices by the board. In fact, a delegation of farmers handed him a memorandum as soon as he landed in the state. There have been protests in Karnataka after farmers have gone on to claim that they got eviction notices. The BJP has claimed this was yet another anti-farmer stance of the Karnataka government, while the Karnataka government has gone on to say that they've issued orders for the withdrawal of such notices. We also heard DK Shivkumar saying that they are doing everything to protect the farmers.
The farmers of the North Karnataka, they are even at the airport, and they have handed over one memorandum, the piece of the land which was belonging to us. Now, Waqf board is claiming that it is ours. So just I have inquired whether you have your deed, whether you have your ownership of that piece of land. They are saying, we are there from last more than 50 years, 70 years, but even then Waqf board is claiming. So they have given some papers. So I will look into it.
This is all a political drama. Since the election is there, they are no way connected. It is a state land, is a state subject. But my government is committed. We will not change any record. We will all rectify it. We don't want to affect any farmers. This is all started by BJP, and they are trying to put the blame on us. We don't mind. The JPC doesn't have any powers to enter. Already my chief minister and my revenue minister has all said on record, all farmers will be protected at any cost.
Thank you.
It's a classic case of misuse of Waqf powers, where farmer lands has been totally without any notices have been converted into Waqf property. The Waqf powers are very well defined, but however, in Karnataka, the present government and Waqf Adalat and ministers have totally misused it. It is a kind of a conspiracy against our farmers, land tillers.
Breaking news coming in after actor Salman Khan. It's now superstar Shah Rukh Khan who's received a death threat. He got that call and a case has now been registered in the Bandra police station. The police have traced the call to Raipur, and the Mumbai police is sending a team to Raipur to investigate the matter. To get more on this, we have my colleague Paras joining us. Paras, in the case of Salman Khan, it was a black buck case. As far as Shah Rukh Khan is concerned, we don't know why he's received this death threat, but Salman Khan has been repeatedly getting death threats. There was a carpenter, there was a vegetable seller, there was a very young boy. There have been 4 to 5 threats that in fact the Mumbai Traffic Control Police has been getting on behalf of the actor Salman Khan. And now after Salman Khan, it is actor Shah Rukh Khan who has received a death threat. There was a call that was made to the actor, and since then a case has now been registered in the Bandra police station in Mumbai. The call has also been traced. The call has been made by someone in Raipur. The person has been identified as Faizan, who made that threat call. The sources have also gone on to say that it is the Mumbai police who has now made that team in order to reach Raipur in order to investigate the matter. So threat call has been made to superstar Shah Rukh Khan. He has got a threat call over his phone. The details that we have for you at the moment, this is a story that we are going to track very, very carefully and very, very closely. After actor Salman Khan, we have news coming in of Bollywood superstar Shah Rukh Khan also receiving a threat call. We have Paras with us. Paras, in the Salman Khan case, it was a black buck case, which was the reason behind those threat calls. What is the reason why Shah Rukh Khan is getting a threat call?
This is a very initial information that we have received, that actor Shah Rukh Khan had received a death threat in this entire matter. Mumbai police, the Bandra unit, had registered a case in Bharti Nyay Sahita 308-351-34 BNS has been registered in Bandra police station. As per the information, the threat call was received by the Bandra police station in the name of Shah Rukh Khan, that they are going to harm him, and after that case has been registered in Bandra police station. Still, this is a matter of investigation right now. So investigation has been started by the Bandra police station, and they are continuously investigating in this entire matter. But the main point in this entire matter, the call directly came to Bandra police station, not to Shah Rukh Khan, but the call was about threatening Shah Rukh Khan. The call directly came to the Bandra police station, and now the case has been registered. There are major things in this entire matter, that call has been traced in Raipur, which is the capital city of Chhattisgarh, and a team of Mumbai police has been sent there to investigate more in this entire matter. So we have to wait what will be the exact scene, what has happened in this entire matter. But the major update is that the one team has been sent by the Bandra police station to Raipur to investigate in this entire matter, because the call which came to threaten Shah Rukh Khan has been located in Raipur, the capital city of Jamshedpur, Chhattisgarh.
Right, the modus seems to be the same, because these calls or messages are being received by the Mumbai police. It was a vegetable seller, then there was a carpenter in the case of Salman Khan. The details that we have, of course, they've traced that call and they have narrowed down on the person who made that call to the police in Mumbai. Of course, they have identified the man as Faizan. Get us details that you perhaps have, because of course very sketchy details coming in at the moment of superstar Shah Rukh Khan, breaking news coming in of receiving a threat call. The threat call was received by the Mumbai police. A very similar modus of operandi when it comes to both Shah Rukh Khan and Salman Khan in regard to these threat calls that are being made, Paras.
Rightly, Divya, this type of calls has been received by Mumbai Traffic Police since last 20 days. We had already reported about it, that the threat call was, threat messages and call was continuously received by the Mumbai Traffic Police. And now if we see, this is also a very, very difficult situation for police also, because continuously, first Salman Khan was receiving this type of death threats, and now Shah Rukh Khan has received this type of death threats. So police don't want to waste any time, and that's why they have started the investigation urgently, and they had also registered a FIR in this entire matter. One team has been also sent to Raipur to investigate more on this matter, because the call which came was traced, and the location which Mumbai police got is Raipur. So this will be very, very important to see what was the exact thing, why the call was made. So this is a part of investigation, and the investigation has already been started in this entire matter.
Right, Paras, also a 32-year-old man from Rajasthan accused of threatening Bollywood actor Salman Khan was apprehended in Rajasthan. The man, was a resident of Jalore. And now these calls that are being made, the calls are being received, whether it's a call or a message. As far as Salman Khan is concerned, they were extortion calls. They were demanding money. They were demanding something to the tune of 5 crores. We also have Radhika joining us. Radhika, what details do you have for us? Very sketchy details coming in with Shah Rukh Khan getting a threat call.
Sketchy details coming in. This time, Shah Rukh Khan has gotten threat calls from a man in Raipur. Of course, investigations are underway, as Paras had been pointing out. He received a threat call from a youth named Faizan. Initial information that we managed to get, and location has been changed to Raipur. Of course, an FIR has been registered at the Bandra police station, and as we've been pointing out, this is not the first time that actors have been receiving threat calls. We know for a fact that Salman Khan had received multiple threat calls, some from Lawrence Bishnoi gang in the past, but in the recent past, many threat calls being received by Mumbai police officials themselves in the name of Salman Khan, asking for money. Those were all extortion calls, but found to be mischief calls as well. Many of them having arrested from multiple places, and none of them seem to have any direct links to Lawrence Bishnoi gang either. So what kind of call this is, as far as the call received by SRK is concerned? Is it mischief, or is it something more that meets the eye? Is it backed by some group or gang? All that is a matter of investigation. But certainly, a lot of these calls doing the rounds, a lot of them could be mischief and fueled by all the threat call, messages and news that have been floating over the last few days. So certainly a cause of concern and worry as far as Mumbai police is concerned, but they are taking every such call very seriously and registering the case, and not just registering the case, but also deploying teams to ensure that these people are arrested.
Radhika, how easy has it become to make these threat calls to these superstars and actors in regard, whether it's demanding money or, of course, in the case of Salman Khan, the ones demanding the money or making these threat calls said that it was in connection with the Black Buck case. Why Shah Rukh Khan?
Yes, absolutely. That's the big question. Why is Shah Rukh Khan being targeted now? Is it because of all the threats that Salman Khan had been receiving? Therefore, some people were fueled to sort of take it forward and perhaps play mischief with other actors as well. Or is it something more serious? That is a matter of investigation. This man has been traced to Raipur. Once he is arrested and in question, things will be clear as to what his exact motive is, why are asking for money, or was it done out of mischief, or was somebody else behind it? All that is a matter of investigation. But certainly, in past, of course, we did see Salman Khan had received threats. There were threat messages put outside his residence, which was a couple of years back. Then a mail sent to him, and of course, we know about the very serious shooting incident that happened outside. Post which, of course, after Baba Siddiqui murder, there had been multiple threat messages floating around, many being received by Mumbai Traffic Police team on their WhatsApp number, some of them being received by the actors themselves. So yes, it is a cause of concern, worry. These are some youngsters from other parts of the country that are making these calls with no real motive, but perhaps to spread fear, perhaps to it is an act of mischief is what most of the police officials are saying. But certainly this is only increased headache for Mumbai police, as they are very, very serious when such calls are made.
Right, the Mumbai police have registered a case at the Bandra police station. They have traced that call. The team has reached Raipur in order to nab the man who made that threat call to superstar Shah Rukh Khan. We will keep tracking that story. For now, we're slipping to a very short break. Back with a whole lot more. Do stay with us.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro, world's first AI-powered pro-grade camera.
Is it the end of the road for Jet Airways? Well, the Supreme Court has ordered liquidation of the airlines because the resolution plan that was made 5 years ago by the new investors has not been implemented yet. It's the BJP versus the India bloc over Article 370's abrogation in Jammu and Kashmir's Assembly session that was adjourned today till Friday, that's tomorrow, over the special status resolution. The BJP has hit out at the India bloc, saying that the India bloc only wants special status for their own greed. That's what Smriti Irani had to say. Maharashtra Congress expels rebel candidates who fought against official NDA candidates. They have been suspended for a term of 6 years. The centre doubles stubble burning fine after the Supreme Court comes down heavily. Now, according to the new rules, farmers having an area of land of less than 2 acres will have to pay an environmental compensation of 5,000 rupees. That's 2,500 rupees more than what they were being made to pay earlier.
I now request the Honorable Prime Minister to launch NDTV World and address the summit.
It was the grand launch of NDTV World by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. NDTV World, as he laid out his vision for the India century at the NDTV World Summit.
ऐसी सदी जिसमें भारत के प्रयासों से दुनिया में स्थिरता आए.
In the presence of those who are shaping our future.
मेरी तरफ से आपको ढेर सारी शुभकामनाएं हैं.
NDTV World, your new home for global news is here.
We reached an agreement on patrolling. You know, we have gone back to where the situation was in 2020, and we can say with that the disengagement process with China, you can say, has been completed. The understanding, to my knowledge, is that we will be able to do the patrolling which we were doing in 2020.
I've been reporting on all issues, big and small, from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of maximum city is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
India's IT capital is always buzz. It's literally a city that never sleeps. And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you. NDTV proudly upholds its legacy of trust and credibility. According to the prestigious Reuters Institute's Digital News Report 2024, NDTV is the top-most news platform in the country. Number 1 in both online and offline reach in India, beating all its competition. NDTV stands for trust.
Hello and welcome to India Sense. where I speak with global opinion makers.
The United States has made a strategic decision over the last 20 years to move closer to India.
So a $7 trillion economy seems a perfectly conceivable number.
If you want to be a national party, it's that you sort of accept the way the world is rather than want to endlessly hark back to how it was.
Modi is promoting the digitization of the economy, which is accelerating growth in the country.
घोषणा आणि जनतेचे पैसे लुटणं.
कट कमिशन आणि करप्शनला आमच्याकडे थारा नाही. त्यांचा परिवारवाद आमचा
महाराष्ट्रामध्ये 1 लाख.
Welcome back. Let's get you the latest. And Australia has taken the lead in cyber safety laws. It is the government that's saying that no social media for kids under 16. Do remember that Prime Minister Albanese has been talking about this for a while, and now he has gone on to say that the proposed law to ban social media for children under 16 will be tabled in the Parliament as soon as next week. Let's listen in to what Albanese had to say. Of course, he has said that he's speaking as a dad. He says this is for all the moms and dads who are really worried about the safety of their children.
Social media is doing harm to our kids, and I'm calling time on it. I've spoken to thousands of parents, grandparents, aunties and uncles. They, like me, are worried sick about the safety of our kids online. And I want Australian parents and families to know that the government has your back. I want parents to be able to say, sorry mate, it's against the law for me to get you to do this. Now, government's proposed age is 16. That decision was made in Cabinet on Monday.
In other news, Madras High Court has allowed a doctor to meet with a baby monkey. The vet had saved the paralysed monkey from rabies. He was attacked by a stray dog. He had, in fact, given him treatment for at least 9 to 10 months. And now the vet has asked for some time with the baby monkey, saying that, he can't be left alone, he can't be independent, and that he would fall sick if he was left unattended. So the High Court in this case has said that the case must be handled sensitively, and which is why the monkey, the zoo, is going to be, the vet has been given permission to meet with the monkey on Fridays. So this is a very heartwarming story that's coming out of the Madras High Court that's allowed the vet to interact with the partially paralysed baby monkey who helped him in his treatment for at least 10 months in Coimbatore. The little animal, which suffered multiple injuries, was in fact undergoing treatment by the doctor, and now he is asking for the custody of the baby monkey. And with that, we are slipping to a very short break. News and updates will continue on the other side. Thank you so much for watching.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro, world's first AI-powered pro-grade camera.
I want to thank the American people for the extraordinary honor of being elected your 47th president.
Donald triumphs. What does Trump's win mean for America, for the world, for the wars, and for India-US relations? Non-stop coverage on NDTV. Top analysts and voices from the ground. Extensive coverage on NDTV.
NDTV proudly presents NDTV World Summit 2024, the India Century. I now request the Honorable Prime Minister to launch NDTV World and address the summit.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi's inaugural session at the NDTV summit outlined his vision for the India century, driven by aspirational India.
हमारा प्रयास होगा भारत की सेंचुरी सिर्फ भारत की नहीं बल्कि पूरी मानवता की जीत की सेंचुरी बने.
The summit brought together prominent global leaders, highlighting India's pivotal role on the world stage.
Not just Indians trusting India's leadership, but the global South especially trusting India's leadership.
Permanent seat on the UN Security Council is something that should be India's right.
Canada is concerned, I think there are some very specific issues. I think a lot of people know that.
AI is going to be one of the most important, drivers.
It's a very exciting time for India, Indian cinema as well at a global level.
NDTV World Summit was more than just a conversation. It was a confluence of ideas poised to shape our global future.
I now request the Honorable Prime Minister to launch NDTV World and address the summit.
It was the grand launch of NDTV World by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. NDTV World, as he laid out his vision for the India century at the NDTV World Summit.
ऐसी सदी जिसमें भारत के प्रयासों से दुनिया में स्थिरता आए.
In the presence of those who are shaping our future.
मेरी तरफ से आपको ढेर सारी शुभकामनाएं हैं.
NDTV World, your new home for global news is here.
We reached an agreement on petroling. We have gone back to where the situation was in 2020, and we can say with that the disengagement process with China, you can say, has been completed. The understanding, to my knowledge, is that we will be able to do the patrolling which we were doing in 2020.
I've been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
India's IT capital is always buzz. It's literally a city that never sleeps. And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
Covering from the southern
It's the Congress versus the BJP in a constitution face-off as Union Minister Kiran Rijiju has launched an attack on Rahul Gandhi, saying that the leader of opposition carries a blank copy of the constitution, saying this is an insult to Ambedkar ji. It's the end of the road, it seems, as far as Jet Airways is concerned. The Supreme Court ordering a liquidation of the airlines. The resolution planned by the new investors, which was initiated 5 years ago, has still not been implemented. And Ruckus, as far as the Assembly session, this is the BJP versus the India bloc over the Article 370 abrogation. The Jammu Kashmir Assembly has now been adjourned till Friday over the special status resolution. The BJP has gone on to say that the India bloc wants that special status only for their own greed, is what Smriti Irani had to say. Maharashtra Congress expels rebel candidates who fought against official MBA candidates. They have been suspended for a term of 6 years. And it is the centre that's doubling its stubble burning fine. This comes after the Supreme Court came down heavily on the government in regard to the pollution issue. Now fines will be doubled. That is a compensation that the farmers will have to pay in accordance to the area of their farmland. Compromise cannot quash sexual harassment cases is what the Supreme Court said. It then has set aside a decision of the Rajasthan High Court to exercise its powers of the Code of Criminal Procedure to quash a sexual harassment case based on the compromise that had been reached upon by the accused and the survivor. Let's just get you the very latest. You're watching NDTV 24/7. I'm Divya Vada. We have a whole lot lined up for you, including Punjab Congress chief Raja Waring has sparked a controversy while campaigning for his wife Amrita for the upcoming by-polls. He has gone on to say that she gets out of the house at 6 in the morning wearing a lipstick and wearing a bindi and returns only at 11 o'clock at night. She's of no use to me. She has gone out of my hands. Find someone else for me. Now the BJP has gone ahead and slammed those remarks that have been made by the Congress chief in Punjab, calling those remarks sexist. However, the Congress party has defended the remarks, saying that the remarks are being taken out of context. It is Ravneet Singh Bittu, the Union Minister of State for Railways, who found the comment not just offensive and disrespectful to women, but particularly to working women. Listen in.
ਕਾਂਗਰਸ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਦੇ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਪ੍ਰਧਾਨ ਨੇ ਰਾਜਾ ਵੜਿੰਗ ਸਾਹਿਬ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਮੈਂ ਕਿਤੇ ਸਪੀਚ ਕਿਸੇ ਚੈਨਲ ਤੇ ਸੁਣ ਰਿਹਾ ਸੀ। ਮੈਨੂੰ ਸੁਣ ਕੇ ਬੜੀ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਹੈਰਾਨੀ ਹੋਈ, ਉੱਥੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੀਆਂ, ਚਲੋ ਗੱਲ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਬੇਸ਼ੱਕ ਕਰਦੀ ਆ, ਪਰ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਉਹ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੇ ਪ੍ਰਧਾਨ ਨੇ, ਲੁਧਿਆਣੇ ਤੋਂ ਮੈਂਬਰ ਪਾਰਲੀਮੈਂਟ ਨੇ, ਕੀ ਸੇਧ ਦੇ ਰਹੇ ਆ ਉਹ ਸਾਡੀਆਂ ਭੈਣਾਂ ਨੂੰ, ਸਾਡੀਆਂ ਬੇਟੀਆਂ ਨੂੰ, ਉਹ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਕੀ ਚਾਹ ਰਹੇ ਆ।
इन सारे मुद्दों को भटकाने की कोशिश की जा रही है। हरियाणा और पंजाब में आज मुद्दा है डीएपी उपलब्ध ना होना। कौन नीला कमीज पहनता है, कौन सफेद कमीज पहनता है, कौन लिपस्टिक लगाता है या कौन नहीं लगाता, ये मुद्दे नहीं है। वो महिलाओं की अपनी मर्जी है कि वो क्या वेशभूषा या किस प्रकार का मेकअप करें, उसमें मैं या आप कौन है सवाल उठाने वाले।
बाकी मैं कमो गया जमा कर जो न्याणे निके निके ਤੇ ਘਰ ਵਾਲੀ ਤੜਕੇ ਸੋਚੀ ਦਿੰਦੀ ਲਾ ਕੇ ਨਿਕਲ ਜਾਂਦੀ 6 ਵਜੇ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਰਾਤ ਨੂੰ 11 ਵਜੇ ਉੱਠਦੀ ਹੈ। ਮੇਰੇ ਤਾਂ ਗੁਲਗਲੇ ਪੱਕ ਗਈ, ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਮੇਰੇ ਤਾਂ ਕੰਮੋਂ ਗਈ। ਨਹੀਂ ਸੱਚੀ ਗੱਲ ਆ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੱਸੋ 6 ਵਜੇ ਜਨਾਨੀ ਜਾਵੇ ਤੇ 11 ਵਜੇ ਆਵੇ ਤੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਗੱਲ ਕੰਮ ਦੀ ਹੈ। ਬੋਲੋ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਕੋਈ ਲਾਂਗਰੀ ਭਾਲ ਦਿਓ, ਲਾਂਗਰੀ ਭਾਲ ਦਿਓ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮੇਰੀਆਂ ਰੋਟੀਆਂ ਰਾਟੀਆਂ ਪਕਾ ਛੱਡਿਆ ਕਰੇ। ਇਹ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਵਿਆਹ ਮਕਲਾਵੇ ਚੱਲ ਪੈਣਗੇ, ਭੋਗ ਚੱਲ ਪੈਣਗੇ, ਜਗਰਾਤੇ ਚੱਲ ਪੈਣਗੇ। ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਡੀਕੇ ਕਰੂੰਗਾ ਵੀ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਹੈ, ਮਿਲ ਜਾ ਕਦੇ 2 ਮਿੰਟਾਂ 'ਚ। ਹੋਰ ਕੀ ਹੋਊਗਾ ਬੇਬੇ ਦੱਸ, ਇਹੀ ਹੋਊ, ਹੋਰ ਕਿਉਂ? ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਪਤਾ ਵੀ ਨਾ, ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਇੱਧਰ ਗਿਆ ਤਾਂ ਵੀ ਮਰਿਆ ਤੇ ਇੱਧਰ ਗਿਆ ਤਾਂ ਵੀ ਮਰਿਆ। ਤੇ ਹੁਣ ਇਹ ਨਾ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਤਕੜੇ ਕਰ ਦਿਓ। ਚਲੋ ਕੰਮ ਸੇ ਨਾਲ ਇੱਜ਼ਤਮਾਨ ਤਾਂ ਕਰੂਗੀ ਜਿੱਤ ਕੇ ਵੀ, ਚਲੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਘਰ ਵਾਲੇ ਨੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਖਸਮ ਨੇ ਜਿਤਾਇਆ ਹੈ, नहीं तो वो भी कम हो जावा। सो इन्होंने गलों का ध्यान रखियो। सुखने आ रहे हो, तुसी बहुत चंगे लोग हैं। ना मैं थोड़े चो कदे गया, ना मैं थोड़े चो कदे जाना। चंगा है माड़ा है, पर राजा अपने एक दूजे नालों 100 गुणे चंगा है। कदे ऐनकां वंडदा सी, कदे स्कूलों च बूट वंडदा सी, कदे कोठियां वंडदा सी, कदे कंबल वंडदा सी, होर कदे कोई मर्जन आया नहीं गा। लुट के लैके जान तो बाद राजा वड़िंगी है चंगा माड़ा किसी ने भोग ते, किसी ने ब्याह ते, थोनू लंघदा टपदा विखदा, मेरे तो वध होर कोई नहीं विखदा। पर मैनू पंजाब की जिम्मेवारी मिल गई है, मैनू पंजाब के कोने कोने च जाना पैंदा है। इस करके जे मैनू वड्डा बनावे वड्डा, तां ही 500 कोठा एक पिंड च पाऊंगा। ਉਹਦੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਤੁਰਨਾ ਪੈਂਦਾ। तो मैनू वड्डा तुसीं बना सकदे हो।
Gurpreet joining us to get us more on this. Gurpreet, what was really said and what has really been made out of the comments that were made by the Congress chief?
Well, we have seen the Congress chief Amarinder Singh Rajavading. He has been campaigning for his own wife in bipolls which are going to be held in Gidarba. We have seen he has given an example saying that his wife has left house at about 6 a.m. in the morning and she comes at about 11 p.m. at night, and she was specifically she fashioned while leaving from his residence. And now we have seen the opposition leaders, they are saying that though Rajavading was trying to give this statement on behalf of his wife, he was trying to allure the voters there, but it is the disrespect of the women. He should immediately apologize on this issue, because if anyone who gets ready, who goes for any job or any assignment, that doesn't mean that this type of the statement should be given against the women. So that is one of the major controversy which has been erupted between the BJP leader Ravneet Bittu, who is also minister in the central government. He has already criticized, condemned and also asked Mr. Rajavading to apologize to all the women, because it seems the way he has given the statement on the behalf of Congress leader, it seems that he had disrespected the women, and he should apologize immediately. We have seen this controversy has already been going on, and today we have seen the Congress leader Randeep Singh Surjewala, he defended Rajavading. He says it seems that the statement of Mr. Rajavading is being twisted, and no such type of statement has been given by the Congress chief. So let's see how and when Rajavading, the Congress chief, is going to give his reply on the statement. Whether he is going to apologize or not, that is yet to be seen. Back to studio.
Thank you so much, Gurpreet, for breaking that down for us. And switching tracks now to breaking news coming in, and we're talking about Enforcement Directorate that is carrying out searches at premises these are linked to vendors and sellers of e-commerce sites in multiple cities across India. Which are these sites? Which are the people that they're really gunning for? We have Mukesh joining us. Mukesh, why is the ED going after these e-commerce vendors, and who are these vendors?
देखिए, अभी ये वेंडर कौन है इनके बारे में जानकारी नहीं मिली है, लेकिन ईडी सोर्सेस के मुताबिक जो बड़े ई कॉमर्स वेंडर्स और सेलर्स हैं उनके ठिकानों पर रेड चल रही हैं, जिसमें करीब 20 लोकेशन पर पूरा पैन इंडिया रेड चल रहा है और दिल्ली, मुंबई, हैदराबाद समेत कई शहरों में ये रेड चल रही है। यहाँ पर मैं एक बात और साफ कर दूं कि जो ईडी सोर्सेस से हमें जानकारी मिली है कि जो ई कॉमर्स जियांट्स हैं, जो प्लेटफॉर्म्स हैं, उनके यहाँ रेड नहीं चल रही है, बल्कि जो सेलर्स और वेंडर्स हैं उनके यहाँ छापेमारी की जा रही है। दरअसल इसमें एलिगेशन ये है कि जो ये लोग सेल लगाते हैं, खासतौर से दिवाली के मौके पर या फिर किसी और मौके पर जो सेल लगाते हैं, उस सेल में जो पैसे की गड़बड़ी है उसका एलिगेशन है, और उसी एलिगेशन के चलते जो ईडी है वो इस मामले में करीब 20 लोकेशन पर पूरे भारत में अलग अलग शहरों में छापेमारी कर रही है। अभी और आगे क्या इसमें डिटेल्स हैं, कौन कौन से वेंडर सेलर्स हैं, उनके नाम सामने नहीं आए हैं, लेकिन जो ईडी है वो 20 लोकेशन पर अपनी कार्रवाई कर रही है और एलिगेशन यही है कि जो सेल लगाते हैं ये प्लेटफॉर्म्स, उनमें उस दौरान पैसों की गड़बड़ी का इसमें आरोप है और जो पैसा है वो डाइवर्ट किया गया है, उसमें ये भी एलिगेशन है। तो अब ईडी इस पूरे मामले में जो कार्रवाई है वो लगातार कर रही है और फिलहाल 20 लोकेशन पर पैन इंडिया जो रेड्स हैं वो चल रही हैं।
Right, thank you so much, Mukesh, for joining us with those details. Switching tracks now to news coming in regard to Jet Airways, and it is the Supreme Court that has gone on to invoke its extraordinary powers to order the liquidation of Jet Airways in view of the peculiar and alarming circumstances that the resolution plan has not been implemented for 5 years. And to get more on this, we have my colleague Sunil Prabhu joining us. Sunil, the verdict has come in this case regarding the dispute as far as the ownership of Jet Airways between JKC and a number of airline lenders led by the SBI. And of course, the Supreme Court, they're saying, left with no choice but to order that liquidation.
That's right. They said it's an eye-opener. And that is the reason why they have had to intervene and really decide that it is for the liquidators, the banks, to really go ahead with the liquidation process, because after 5 years, there has been no progress on the reconstruction plan. And even those who had decided to come in, the consortium, they will forfeit that 200 crores, and the 150 crores which was given as bank guarantees has asked banks to enforce it. So it's in this backdrop that finally the banks and the lenders of the Jet Airways will be able to recover after the liquidation process the cost of this airline, which had been closed down for various reasons of omission and commission, and with no reconstruction plan forthcoming, and the consortium not ready to be able to go forward. The Supreme Court deciding against the NCLT's decision, and now deciding that it's the only best thing under its power is to ensure that it gets liquidated, and those who have lent money to Jet Airways recover the costs.
Right. Thank you so much, Sunil, for getting us those details. And of course, Jet Airways, that was grounded in April of 2019. And 2 years later, it was a consortium, the JKC consortium, United Arab Emirates-based non-resident Indian, who had, in fact, gone ahead and invested, saying that they had successfully bid for the ownership. Well, we have Vipul Saxena joining us, aviation expert. Sir, is this the end of the road when it comes for the airlines? Does this really mark the final chapter in the airline's long struggle to revive itself?
Yeah, I think finally what was seen for the last 5 years, that finally Supreme Court will have to intervene and close this chapter, because the way the lenders, the way the consortium was behaving, they were not ready to pay the amount which was told to them by NCLT, and they were just buying time. It was seen that someday it will go for liquidation. But the point which I want to make here is, who is going to pay for the losses that have been incurred to the various creditors who have been waiting for the payment for the last 5 years, number one. Second thing, the assets of Jet Airways, it is a depreciable asset. It is not a appreciable asset. Like in case of, if it was land would have appreciated. But these are the aircrafts and the machinery. So these get depreciated. So with the time, over 5 years, their cost, their age, everything has been reduced. So I'm really fearful about how the money will be recovered from these assets, and why neither the legal team or the bankers or creditors looked into this matter and try to expedite the closure of the case. Last point, I would like to make one very, very big highlight in the big grey area in the NCLT Act, that the employee part, the employees are the one who are the biggest loser, because their dues are pending, and as per the NCLT Act, if there is no clause of interest on the delayed payment or late payment, they will not be getting any interest on their 5 years waiting period of their dues. So whether they'll get the full dues or not, but whatever due they're going to get, it will be without the interest. So there are huge losses and agony these people have been going through. But ultimately, I feel finally the end of road has come in, and some solution will be found soon.
Right. Thank you so much, Vipul Saxena, for sharing all the wisdom in regard to, no choice is what the Supreme Court said, that they really were left with no choice, and which is why the Supreme Court had to go ahead and order the liquidation of the airlines. And let's just switch tracks to Maharashtra now. And the Congress has expelled Maharashtra Rebels for a term of 6 years. And this is in regard to those rebels. The action has finally been taken by the Congress party there in Maharashtra. Now, it is Ramesh Chenithala who has, spoken about the rebels who had copied the manifesto from the United States, saying that the rebels were against the official MVA candidates, and those are the ones who have been suspended. My colleague Radhika spoke to the Maharashtra Congress in charge.
My question to you, sir, take us through the guarantees that have been promised by MVA. They are very similar to what the Mahayuti has guaranteed.
No, it's not at all similar. It is similar to the Karnataka and Telangana pattern. And guarantees has been first introduced by Congress party in Karnataka. It has been copied by so many BJP states. But we are totally committed to the guarantees which is given to the people of Maharashtra.
Those are women-centric, youth-centric, farmer-centric, very similar to, what Mahayuti had been pointing at.
They had not implemented anything. Farm loan waiver was done by Uddhav Thackeray's MVA government. It has been copied by them. So this is, after long deliberations, we have come to a conclusion to help the people and the needy people who are suffering because of the NDA government policies.
But all the
we are
parties,
doing this.
Okay, are all the parties in tandem? Because Uddhav Thackeray has put out another manifesto, but are they in tandem with what the MVA has released?
Yeah.
So last question, Congress has decided to expel several of the rebel leaders, rebel candidates. Take us through
Already
those
we
details.
expelled.
Expel for how many years, sir?
6 years.
Okay.
Right, thank you so much for joining us with all those details. And let's just switch tracks now when we're talking about Jammu and Kashmir and the Assembly ruckus that erupted, and the Assembly was adjourned today till tomorrow over the special status resolution. It's the BJP versus the India bloc over the Article 370 abrogation. Jammu and Kashmir Assembly adjourned over that special status resolution that was announced by the Deputy Chief Minister yesterday. But it's the BJP hitting out at the India bloc, saying that all they want is that special status for their own very greed. Listen in to Shree Ram.
जिस रेजोल्यूशन को इंडिया अलायंस ने कल पारित किया, उसके अंतर्गत वो जम्मू कश्मीर में भारत के संविधान के खिलाफ एक नई जंग लड़ते हुए दिखाई देते हैं। आज मैं इंडिया अलायंस के नेताओं से पूछना चाहती हूं कि भारत की पार्लियामेंट और सुप्रीम कोर्ट का जो निर्णय सबको मान्य है, उस निर्णय का अपमान, उस निर्णय की अवहेलना करने का अधिकार कांग्रेस को, एनसी को देश में किसने दिया?
जो हम लोग हैं जो हिंदुस्तान को मजबूत करना चाहते हैं, ये हम लोग हैं जो भारत माता को मजबूत करना चाहते हैं। ये वो लोग हैं जो ना भारत माता के, ना देश के, ना किसी और के, ये सिर्फ अपने आप के। हमने लोगों के हित की बात की है मेरे भाई, हमने अपने बात नहीं की। लोग चाहते हैं जो नेशन कॉन्फ्रेंस बोल रही है, जो मेरे लीडर फारूक अब्दुल्ला साहब बोल रहा है, उमर अब्दुल्ला साहब बोल रहा है, जो सुरेंद्र चौधरी बोल रहा है, वो लोगों के हित की बात है। जो ये बात करें, ये अपने हित की करें। थैंक यू।
And to get more on this, we have Ifrajan, the spokesperson of the National Conference, speaking with us. Ma'am, take us through the comments that have been made by Smriti Irani, saying that the India bloc only wants a special status for their own very greed. Your reaction?
You see, first of all, Smriti Irani ji should know that this was an election manifesto promise of the National Conference, and the people of Jammu and Kashmir, the people who were never heard ever when the unilateral decisions were taken against them on August 5, 2019. It is not the National Conference saying this, it is the people of Jammu and Kashmir who are speaking for the first time. Let me take the viewers through the fact that people of Jammu and Kashmir had never been heard before, and this is what the people of Jammu and Kashmir want. Second thing, the resolution very clearly talks about constitutional guarantees. It very clearly mentions that whatever Jammu and Kashmir is asking for, it is pretty much within the Constitution of India. So I do not understand how this can be a Samvidhanic when we, in the resolution itself, is saying that we want whatever we want within the Constitution of India. So that is another thing. Third thing, if they have a problem with the resolution that the National Conference has passed, they can go to the court, they can get it dismissed. There are many ways of fighting against this resolution. Instead, what the BJP MLAs have done is they've started protesting right inside the house in the Legislative Assembly, and what they're doing is they're saying that we will not allow the house to function. They are not allowing the people, for 6 years they did not hold elections because they did not allow the people of Jammu and Kashmir to speak. Now when the people of Jammu and Kashmir are speaking through their Legislative Assembly, they are ensuring that so much ruckus is created. They're beating members of the Assembly, they're beating the elected representatives of Jammu and Kashmir so that their voices are not heard. It is scary how the Bharatiya Janata Party is ensuring everything within their might to defeat the constitution of this country.
Right.
Let's not forget, these are people, these MLAs are people who just 15 days back took oath to protect the sovereignty of our country. These are MLAs who took oath on the constitution of our country. So to come and say कि ये ऐसा कर रहे हैं, वैसा कर रहे हैं, please read the resolution, Smriti ji.
Right.
That is all I would ask of you. It clearly says whatever we want, it has to be within the constitution of this country.
Right. Smriti Irani also added by saying that yesterday's resolution shows the Congress and the India Alliance leaders tactically they're being supportive of extremism and terrorism. Well, moving on now to more news, and it's the Supreme Court that set aside a Rajasthan High Court order which had allowed the quashing of an FIR in a sexual harassment case related to a minor. The top court said that a compromise cannot lead to quashing of an FIR. The case was filed against a teacher in Rajasthan by a 15-year-old girl. Both parties apparently reached a compromise later, which is when the accused teacher had approached the High Court. While the High Court had allowed that relief, the Supreme Court overturned it. And in other news, the Indian government has taken stricter measures to combat the massive pollution caused by stubble burning in the Delhi NCR region. The farmers found burning crop residue will face on-the-spot fines administered by the Commission for the Air Quality Management in coordination with local authorities. Now, according to the new rules, the farmers having an area of land of less than 2 acres should have to pay an environment compensation. And that is going to be to the tune of 5,000 rupees. That's 2,500 more than they were used to paying earlier.
Up to 2 acres, 5,000, then between 2 and 5, 10,000, and then it goes on to 30,000 onwards. So basically, this is after prodding from the Supreme Court, where it had called the CAQM toothless, that the center was not really helping and facilitating in ensuring stubble burning really stops, and wanted certain powers to be given to the CAQM by the amendment that had been brought in through the Act and the Air Pollution Act. It had become really virtually difficult for various local authorities to have penal powers. And it's in that backdrop now a substantial legal change has been done. This, of course, as I said, on the prodding of the Supreme Court. The big question is now, will this help in stopping stubble burning? Will action be taken at the ground, be it in Punjab, be it in Haryana, or Uttar Pradesh, and ensure that these places don't become smoke zones and affect Delhi. So it's definitely in that larger context that these amendments have been done. The Supreme Court will hear this on the 14th of November. We'll have to wait and see how they view this entire change and whether they're satisfied and the measures that are being taken by the CAQM. Because they've asked even the Delhi government and the Delhi police to revert back on a perpetual ban on firecrackers, and why they weren't able to adhere to ensuring that this Diwali things would have been better, because it was worse than previous last 2 years. So it's in that backdrop we'll have to wait and see how things play out, how they revert, and how the Supreme Court views the entire issue.
And switching tracks, now talking about artificial intelligence taking over after inaugurating the National Judicial Museum. It is the Chief Justice of India, Mr. Chandrachud, who put an AI to the test on Indian judiciary. He interacted with an AI lawyer at the National Judicial Museum at the Supreme Court of India. He went ahead and questioned the bot about the validity of death penalty. And the bot's answer left the Chief Justice of India amused ahead of his last working day, which is tomorrow. And with that, we're slipping into a very short break. Back with a whole lot more on the other side. Stay with us.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro. World's first AI-powered pro-grade camera.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you. NDTV proudly upholds its legacy of trust and credibility. According to the prestigious Reuters Institute's Digital News Report 2024, NDTV is the top-most news platform in the country. Number 1 in both online and offline reach in India. Beating all its competition, NDTV stands for trust.
Hello and welcome to India Sense, where I speak with global opinion makers.
The United States has made a strategic decision over the last 20 years to move closer to India.
So a $7 trillion economy seems a perfectly conceivable number.
If you want to be a national party, it's that you sort of accept the way the world is rather than want to endlessly hark back to how it was.
Modi is promoting the digitization of the economy, which is accelerating growth in the country.
घोषणा आणि जनतेचे पैसे लुटणं.
कट कमिशन आणि करप्शनला आमच्याकडे थारा नाही. त्यांचा परिवारवाद आमचा महाराष्ट्रवाद.
महाराष्ट्रामध्ये 1,75,000 जागा रिक्त आहेत. का भरत नाही? राज्याची जनतेच्या घमाच्या पैशाची तिजोरी लुटण्यासाठी हे सरकार आहे.
पूर्वीच्या सरकारच्या काळामध्ये निधी देताना त्यांना असं वाटायचं की त्यांच्याच खिशातले पैसे चालले. शेतकऱ्यांना मोफत वीज देण्याचं काम आपल्या सरकारने सुरू केलं.
I want to thank the American people for
Welcome back. It's the Congress versus the BJP, and it's the Constitution face-off with Union Minister launching an attack. We're talking about Kiren Rijiju, who's launched an attack on Rahul Gandhi for Rahul Gandhi carrying a blank copy of the Constitution. So Kiren Rijiju has gone on to say that the Congress is insulting the Constitution and the BJP posting a video of that blank Constitution copy being carried.
संविधान को हाथ में पकड़ करके नाटक करने का काम जो कांग्रेस पार्टी ने किया है, संविधान को हाथ में पकड़ने से कुछ नहीं होता है. संविधान के अंदर में जो स्पिरिट है उसका समझना होगा. इसलिए नागपुर में नीला रंग का छोड़ करके लाल रंग में संविधान का कवर पिक्चर डाल करके राहुल गांधी ने नकली संविधान बांटने का काम किया. कवर लगाया, कवर के नीचे में कुछ नहीं था, मुझे बताया गया है. संविधान के बारे में ABC नहीं मालूम है राहुल गांधी को. आज कैसे किस मुंह से वो बाबा साहब भीमराव अंबेडकर का नाम ले सकते हैं?
And to get more on this, we have Dr. Pooja Tripathi, spokesperson of the Congress Party, joining us. Thank you so much for speaking with us this afternoon. Well, we just heard Kiren Rijiju say that the Congress should be taught a lesson in this election. And why are you doing drama by holding the Constitution? Your reaction?
Well, somebody as mentally bankrupt as a BJP leader can only say that, taking the vow of Constitution and revoking Constitution and political rallies is a drama. This goes on to prove that they actually questioned Devendra Fadnavis yesterday, questioned the red. Why is Rahul Gandhi holding the red color version of the pocketbook version of the Constitution? They have forgotten that the red is something that symbolizes Shakti in Hinduism and symbolizes feminine energy, strength and power and bravery. And now they're questioning red, saying that why they are holding the red Constitution. And if Kiren Rijiju has any doubt, I would love to send him the pocketbook version of the Constitution that Rahul Gandhi, shows in the political rallies. It's very important here to say that it's the same non-biological PM-led government who has subjected the Constitution of India and its principles, values and institutions to systematic assault in the last 10 years. And we saw how various leaders of Bharatiya Janata Party brought out the slogan of 400 par from Constitution change karenge, and that led them to shrink to 240 numbers in Parliament. And this led Prime Minister to bow down before the Constitution. So we know who does the drama of Constitution. We know who has led a systematic assault on the downtrodden, on the minorities of the country, who has led the whole partisanship of the constitutional bodies.
What we just heard Kiren Rijiju say, that this is not an election agenda, it is a matter of honor, and he's gone on to say that this is insulting to Ambedkar ji.
I don't think anybody who takes the vow of Constitution, who talks about constitutional values and principles of secularism, of socialism, is an insult to Dr. Ambedkar. And it's important, as I said, the whole 400 par narrative was a narrative to change the Constitution. Now they have been in back foot and they just become the protectors of the Constitution. The ideological forefathers of Bharatiya Janata Party, the Sangh Parivar, were the people who opposed the Constitution in November 1949, saying that it does not derive inspiration from Manusmriti. This is the same Kiren Rijiju who favored Vice President of India, the Uprashtrapati ji, when he questioned the basic structure doctrine in Constitution. So the country now knows who is respecting the Constitution, and politics is about Constitution. It's about upholding the constitutional values in the country, and we are very proud to do that. It's not a matter of election for us. It's a matter of saving the country from the systematic assault on the constitutional bodies, with constitutional values, be it on the peace and harmony of the country. So it's not a matter of election, it's a matter of the country's come first here. And anyone who does not believe in it will term it as a drama.
Right, thank you so much for joining us with those details. Let's just switch tracks now. It's superstar Shah Rukh Khan who has got a threat call after Bollywood actor Salman Khan, who has received multiple threat calls. Now, the Mumbai police received that call. This was a call that was made in order to extract money, is what we are hearing. And the Mumbai police traced that call all the way to Raipur. The man has been identified as Faizan. Now, the Mumbai police has reached Raipur in order to nab the man behind that threat call that was made to superstar Shah Rukh Khan. Now, this is after Salman Khan has received multiple threats. It is Shah Rukh Khan who has now received a threat. This is not the first time that King Khan has received a threat. Last October as well. This was after the success of two of his films, Pathan and Jawan, that the Mumbai police upped their protective cover, giving the superstar Y plus security blanket. It was this was basically to ensure that he's accompanied by 6 armed personnel around the clock, and earlier he had 2 security personnel also armed accompanying him. So the superstar has received threats in the past as well, but the big question being, what was this threat all about? Well, it was this man in Raipur who made this threat, allegedly demanding a ransom of 50 lakh rupees. Do remember, it's Salman Khan who has been receiving multiple threats, and it is the Mumbai Traffic Control Police that has been receiving messages and calls wanting to extort money from the actor to the tune of 2 crores or 5 crores. Well, we have Radhika joining us. Radhika, of course, Salman Khan has been getting multiple threats, and that is because of the Black Buck case. Now, this big question as to why after Salman Khan, why are they targeting Shah Rukh Khan?
That would be received by Mumbai Police, Mumbai Police not taking the threat very lightly. Therefore, registering an FIR, the caller has at the moment been traced to Raipur case registered. Now, trace on already identified by the constable as to who this person is. He said, "Mera naam hai Hindustani." So, could be a mischief caller, could be related to some gang. We don't know entirely what the motive of this caller is. Was it just a mischief call, driven by the sort of threat calls that other actors such as Salman Khan had been receiving? So yes, at this point, of course, an FIR registered by the Bandra police and efforts are on to nab this particular accused who's been traced to Raipur.
Right, Radhika, so that ransom call made demanding money to the tune of 50 lakh rupees that has been traced to Raipur, and the team of the Mumbai police has now reached Raipur in order to investigate the matter. In other news, it's Australia that's taken the lead in cyber safety laws, and no social media will be allowed for kids under the age of 16. That is the decision that's been taken by the government. Do remember, it was Anthony Albanese who has been speaking about this for a while now. So the Prime Minister there saying that the proposed law is likely to be tabled in the Parliament as soon as next week. He said that the proposed law aims to mitigate the harm that social media has been inflicting on the children. He has gone on to in fact add that he is speaking as a father, and this is for all the moms and dads out there who are worried about their children.
Social media is doing harm to our kids, and I'm calling time on it. I've spoken to thousands of parents, grandparents, aunties and uncles. They, like me, are worried sick about the safety of our kids online. And I want Australian parents and families to know that the government has your back. I want parents to be able to say, sorry mate, it's against the law for me to get you to do this. Now, government's proposed age is 16. That decision was made in Cabinet on Monday.
Let us get talking to the youth and understand what do they think about this ban. Hi, tell us your name and...
Hi, I am Archit. I'm doing History Honours from Hindu, second year, undergrad.
Right. And what do you think about this ban on social media apps by the Australian government?
From what I understand of this, we have this problem in India as well of people from a very young age getting into social media, and it does have a deteriorating effect on how their personalities develop. But again, when we are talking of entirely banning social media for all of this entire age group, then that does pose a problem, because it's very similar to, I think, perhaps let's say liquor ban in India or something like that. Then what happens is that people go to alternate. They do it sneakingly, they do it discreetly in some fashion that their parents don't get to know, and that all might lead to more problematic issues. So that's what I understand.
Tell us your name, and the main motive behind this ban is with respect to mental health concerns of growing adolescent children. What is your understanding of this ban? How far will it be impactful?
My name is Aditi and I'm pursuing my master's from DU. See, we live in a time when as a whole in the world, especially in our country, we're dealing with the phenomena of fake news the most. You know, we're the most heavily impacted country with from fake news. But I feel, as far as mental health is concerned, of course, I am way beyond the age which has been, supposedly banned in Australia. But I still feel being on social media from that younger age definitely puts in a lot of stress on children as they grow up. Their perceptions of how they look, how their body looks and what kind of stuff is put. So obviously and it's not just children, it's adults as well. Whatever that we are seeing, our perceptions are formed that way, whether it is political, whether it is related to pop culture, what we like, what we dislike. It's so heavily impacted by social media that, of course, mental health is bound to get, messed up.
Let's just switch tracks and now to more news coming in, and this is in regard to Anil Ambani's Reliance Power that has been barred from bidding in future tenders by the Solar Energy Corporation of India for 3 years due to submitting fake bank guarantees in the last round of bidding. This move comes as a significant setback for Reliance Power, which has been trying to revive its fortunes. And my colleague Sakshi is here to get us more on this. Sakshi, what can be the key implications of this ban?
Significant setback for Reliance Power. This, of course, is coming from the Solar Energy Corporation of India. Like you mentioned, this barring really of Reliance Power for up to 3 years from future tenders comes as a huge setback. And the significance, of course, means in terms of future projects, future tenders, that really will be the immediate impact. Remember, this comes just a few hours and a few days after Reliance Power has been looking at clearing debts for its subsidiaries. So, of course, this is not just just a setback for Reliance Power, but also all of Reliance Power's subsidiaries at large. And of course, while details are going to be looked at, analysts believe that this coming in at a time when Reliance Power is looking at, clearing all the debts and clearing all the various issues that the company has been embroiled in, with the subsidiaries included, this comes as a fresh setback from the Solar Energy Corporation of India.
Let's get you the latest, and it's US Vice President Kamala Harris who conceded the presidential election to Donald Trump, saying though she has conceded the election, however, she has not conceded the fight that fueled this campaign. The fight as far as freedom is concerned, opportunity and dignity for all people is what Kamala Harris had to say in a speech that lasted 12 minutes.
But we must accept the results of this election. Earlier today, I spoke with President-elect Trump and congratulated him on his victory. I also told him that we will help him and his team with their transition, and that we will engage in a peaceful transfer of power. While I concede this election, I do not concede the fight that fueled this campaign. The fight for freedom, for opportunity, for fairness, and the dignity of all people. I know many people feel like we are entering a dark time, but for the benefit of us all, I hope that is not the case. But here's the thing, America, if it is, let us fill the sky with the light of a brilliant, brilliant billion of stars. The light of optimism, of faith, of truth, and service.
And it's the Australian government that's saying that it will introduce the world's first legislation to ban children under 16 from social media. Prime Minister Albanese said that the proposed law is likely to be tabled in the Parliament next week, aimed at mitigating the harm social media was inflicting on Australian children. This one is for mums and dads. They, like me, are worried sick about the safety of our children online. I want Australian families to know that the government has your back, is what Albanese had to say. About 50 Spanish soldiers, police and firefighters, some wearing wetsuits, searched an underground car park of a huge shopping mall in Valencia for possible flood victims. They used a small boat and spotlights to move around in the huge structure, with vehicles submerged in at least a meter of murky water before draining the flood water. Volunteers in Spain are helping rebuild areas 1 week after the devastating floods that caused over 200 deaths. Hundreds of destroyed cars are being piled up, all of them covered and surrounded by mud. As medical supplies arrive and are distributed by volunteers, national and regional authorities are advising residents to wear gloves and face masks to protect themselves from eventual infections that could come as a result of direct contact with mud. In a matter of minutes, flash floods caused by heavy downpour in eastern Spain swept away everything in its path. With no time to react, people were trapped for hours in vehicles, homes and businesses. Authorities have recovered 218 bodies and continue to search for an unknown number of missing people, while facing shortages of some basic goods such as drinking water. At least 15 people were killed in an Israeli airstrike which hit an apartment building in a village south of Beirut. Elsewhere, an Israeli airstrike killed one person and wounded 20 others in the nearby town of Jai. Now, both attacks hit areas that have not been a regular target of Israeli military operations and had not received prior evacuation warnings. Israeli police used water cannons to disperse protesters who packed the streets of Tel Aviv in an outpouring of anger after Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's decision to sack the defense minister. Netanyahu has dismissed the defense minister in a surprise announcement that came as the country is embroiled in wars on multiple fronts. A mass gathering that paralyzed the central part of Tel Aviv. Netanyahu and his defense minister have repeatedly been at odds over the war in Gaza. Netanyahu cited significant gaps and a crisis of trust as he replaced him with a loyalist. The World Health Organization has said that it has been working to arrange medical evacuations for more than 100 people from Gaza on Wednesday, which would be the largest such operation of its kind in 6 months. The UN Health Agency has been helping coordinate the evacuations based on a list of priority candidates that have been drawn up by the Health Ministry in Gaza. WHO has gone on to say that people with chronic conditions like cancer, as patients from trauma cases and injuries are among those who will be evacuated. The Israeli military releases a video in which it has gone on to claim to show forces operating in Jabalia in the northern part of the Gaza Strip. The north has already suffered the heaviest destruction of the war and has been encircled by Israeli forces since late last year. Dozens of Palestinians trickled south from war-ravaged northern Gaza, recounting how they had hardly eaten in days, with aid long cut off to the area amid Israel's ongoing military campaign. Now, Israel has launched a fresh offensive in the northern part of Gaza since early October, focusing on Jabalia, a very densely populated, decades-old urban refugee camp where it says Hamas had regrouped. Lebanese citizens travel into Syria through the coastal Arida crossing in northern Lebanon, heading to the Tartus countryside to flee Israel's ongoing war with Hezbollah. Now, Israel's escalated aerial bombardment has driven over 500,000 people to cross the border from Lebanon into Syria, overwhelming already strained resources and putting thousands of pregnant women in urgent need of assistance. The Lebanese General Security has recorded so far 361,300 Syrians and 177,864 Lebanese that have crossed into Syria from September this year till the 1st of November. Swedish environmental, this is the activist Greta Thunberg, who was in Georgia where she joined a demonstration. Thousands of opposition supporters rallied outside Georgia's parliament for the second straight week to denounce the election that was held on the 26th of October as illegal after the ruling party was declared the winner amid allegations of vote rigging helped by Russia.
Here to support the fight for democracy and freedom of the Georgian people who have been standing up time and time again against the repression they are facing from the state.
So I'm really glad to be here, and I'm looking much forward to spending time here and meeting with many local activists and learning more about the current situation.
Unionized machinists of Boeing have voted to accept a contract offer and end their strike after more than 7 weeks, clearing the way for the aerospace giant to resume production of its best-selling airliner and generate much-needed cash. Now, 59% of the members who cast ballots agreed to approve the company's fourth formal offer and the third put to a vote. The deal includes pay raise of 38% over 4 years and ratification and productivity bonuses. However, Boeing has refused to meet strikers' demand to restore a company pension plan that has been frozen for nearly a decade now. South Korea's privacy watchdog has fined social media giant, we're talking about Meta, $21.6 billion and has won. This is a $15 million for illegally collecting sensitive personal information from Facebook users, including data about their political views, their sexual orientation, and sharing it with thousands of advertisers. It was the latest in a series of penalties against Meta by South Korean authorities in recent years as they increased their scrutiny of how the company, which also owns Instagram and WhatsApp, handles private information. Following a 4-year investigation, the Personal Information Protection Commission concluded that Meta unlawfully collected sensitive information about 980,000 Facebook users, including their religion, their political views, and whether they were in the same sex unions from July of 2018 till March of 2022. Jennifer Lopez had a special screening of Unstoppable, a sports drama in London. The film is based on a true story of a wrestler who was born with one leg and won a NCAA National Wrestling Championship. Lopez has now played the role of a mother in Unstoppable, that opens in theatres on the 6th of December before dropping on Prime Video in January of 2025.
You are 6 months behind on the mortgage.
For me, this movie, it's not just it's so victorious. It's such an inspirational story. It's also a Latino story. So for me, it's always important to kind of do those type of movies and to play characters like Judy that I felt were very relatable and inspirational. To see where she started and where she is today is really remarkable. But it really is Anthony's story at the end of the day. And Jarrell did an amazing job playing Anthony. The things he had to overcome, not just physically, but also mentally and psychologically, to become the extraordinary person that he is today. It's not even so much about the wrestling, it's about the things that we wrestle with in our lives. And it's just a really beautiful family story, a beautiful story between a mother and a son, and I felt very honored to be able to play it, to be quite honest. That's what these stories do, you know, they remind you, like, no matter who you are, you have your struggles and you go through life and you can overcome anything if you just kind of put your head down and focus on the right things.
And Christmas arrived early in London with the photo call at the Tower Bridge for the new holiday film called Red One, which was released on Wednesday. Dwayne Johnson, Chris Evans and Lucy Liu were among the cast and crew who posed in front of the giant Christmas decoration with the historic bridge as a backdrop. The film opens next weekend.
One of those movies that I grew up on, these happy Christmas escapes where you can just enjoy the holiday with your family, with your friends, and it gives you those warm Christmas feelings, those movies that really make you remember what the season is about.
They were phenomenal, from Lucy Liu to Kiernan to, what's that guy's name? Chris, Evans. I love Chris. We became great friends on this. You know, and you never know when you put a movie like this together, you hope that you have chemistry with the actor who you're paired with throughout the movie. And the chemistry Chris and I had was just phenomenal. And you see it on screen. And I love that, you know, out of this movie, all of us became friends. I think we made a great movie. It's a lot of fun. It's big action. And also, personally for me, I think because I'm such a, because I'm so sappy at times, is the message. And that message is ultimately, it's the speech that J.K. Simmons gives to me. J.K. is our Santa Claus. He gives this speech to me in the movie. It always makes me emotional every time I see it, which is, he basically says, in this world today where there is so much noise and cynicism and finger pointing and blaming and shaming and things like that, that can be tiresome. It's our job to see the good in people.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro, world's first AI-powered pro-grade camera.
Let's get you the social media message of the day, and it's by Prime Minister Modi, who's gone on to say on this day, one rank, one pension was implemented. This was a tribute to the courage and sacrifices of our veterans and ex-service personnel who dedicate their lives to protecting our nation. The decision to implement this was a significant step towards addressing this long-standing demand and reaffirming our nation's gratitude to our heroes.
NDTV proudly presents NDTV World Summit 2024, the India Century. I now request the Honorable Prime Minister to launch NDTV World and address the summit.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi's inaugural session at the NDTV Summit outlined his vision for the India Century, driven by aspirational India.
हमारा प्रयास होगा भारत की सेंचुरी सिर्फ भारत की नहीं बल्कि पूरी मानवता की जीत की सेंचुरी बने.
The summit brought together prominent global leaders, highlighting India's pivotal role on the world stage.
Not just Indians trusting India's leadership, but the global South especially trusting India's leadership.
Permanent seat on the UN Security Council is something that should be India's right.
Canada is concerned, I think there are some very specific issues. I think a lot of people know that.
AI is going to be one of the most important, drivers.
It's a very exciting time for India, Indian cinema as well at a global level.
NDTV World Summit was more than just a conversation. It was a confluence of ideas poised to shape our global future.
I now request the Honorable Prime Minister to launch NDTV World and address the summit.
It was the grand launch of NDTV World by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. NDTV World, as he laid out his vision for the India Century at the NDTV World Summit.
ऐसी सदी जिसमें भारत के प्रयासों से दुनिया में स्थिरता आए.
In the presence of those who are shaping our future.
मेरी तरफ से आपको ढेर सारी शुभकामनाएं हैं.
NDTV World, your new home for global news is here.
We reached an agreement on petroling. We have gone back to where the situation was in 2020, and we can say with that the disengagement process with China, you can say, has been completed. The understanding, to my knowledge, is that we will be able to do the patrolling which we were doing in 2020.
I've been reporting on all issues, big and small, from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital, Mumbai.
India's IT capital is always buzz. It's literally a city that never sleeps.
And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app.
Hello and welcome. You're watching NDTV 24/7. I'm Osama Shah. After Salman Khan, now superstar Shah Rukh Khan has received a threat call. We'll get you all the details, but first, let's take a look at the headlines. After Salman Khan, now threat call given to Shah Rukh Khan. This call comes from Raipur demanding 50 lakh rupees. A case has been registered in Mumbai. The call from stolen phone. Delhi BJP Chief Virendra Sachdeva alleges irregularities in Delhi's power distribution company, says only 1 out of the 3 discoms is in profit, and that Aam Aadmi Party is looting the people of Delhi. It is BJP versus the Congress over the Constitution. BJP says that Rahul Gandhi carries a blank copy of the Constitution. Congress, in the meanwhile, retorts, says that BJP is systematically destroying the Constitution. Supreme Court orders liquidation of Jet Airways, saying that the resolution planned by new investors 5 years ago was not implemented. The big question: is it the end of the road for Jet 2.0? And the big story that we are tracking at the top of this hour, Bollywood star Shah Rukh Khan, he has received a threatening call from Raipur. A case has been registered in Bandra police station in Mumbai. Now, Mumbai police have registered a case and a team has reached the Chhattisgarh capital as well, from where a young man named Faizan, he allegedly made the call after multiple threats to Salman Khan. Now, SRK has received these threat calls. And my colleague Abira joins us to get us more on this story. Abira, just give us a sense of what is the nature of this threat and what are the police, in fact, looking at right now?
So this threat call came into Mumbai police station on 5th of November, saying that his name is, he called himself Hindustani. And he said that my name is Hindustani if you at all want to know my name, and we demand 50 lakh rupees from Shah Rukh Khan or we will kill him. So this was the threat received by Mumbai police, and the case has been registered by Shah Rukh's team at Bandra police station here. A Mumbai police team was already on its way to Chhattisgarh. They have also, according to reports, have arrested Faizan, but it's unclear that if Faizan is the same person as the call was made by Hindustani. They are trying to interrogate the person and find out more about it. So we have to wait for the police to tell us what is the update on that. But for now, I am outside Mannat and we don't see much security here after the threat has come in and the news came out of the threat. There are fans sitting all around this place. Actually, on his birthday on 2nd of November, not a single fan was allowed in this place, and they said security issues, and we saw high security. It's the first time ever that on Shah Rukh Khan's birthday there were no crowd here, while the fans had come, but police was surrounding this place completely and did not allow a single fan to even get close to Mannat. They were even diverting traffic from the end of the road and they were not letting them come near Mannat. But today it looks quite normal. If I can show you around, today it looks quite normal. People are standing here waiting to take pictures outside Mannat. Of course, Shah Rukh Khan will not be waving of course today, but there are fans outside waiting and I don't see any police or any security as of now.
Right, Abira, but a similar threat was given to Shah Rukh Khan last year when he was then given the Y+ security. Just give us a sense of how does this particular threat compare to the previous cases, especially of threat to these celebrities of the stature of somebody like a Shah Rukh Khan is concerned.
Just not Shah Rukh Khan, we already know Salman Khan has also been receiving threats. These are mostly extortion where people call and ask for money, but immediately a police case is registered and that's why they get, Y security. For now, Shah Rukh hasn't got a Y security yet, but these cases of threats have become regular since last year. Salman Khan and Shah Rukh Khan are the biggest stars of Bollywood and everybody knows that. They are constantly getting threats for some or the other reason. While they get security, while Shah Rukh Khan last year also when he got a threat, he did get security, and after some time the story died down and everything became normal. And this time also only the police will be able to say how serious it is, as the man who has been arrested, Faizan, his name is Faizan, from Raipur, has demanded 50 lakhs. We still don't know if he's the same person or that guy who had calling himself Hindustani is using Faizan's name to make these calls.
All right, we also have my colleague Paras Dama joining us from outside the Bandra police station. Paras, just give us a sense of the investigation so far. What are the police, what are the steps that the Mumbai police has taken so far in order to identify the real culprit, and are they also looking at other angles as well?
Police is investigating into all angles in this entire matter, because we had seen the continuous threat which has been received by Salman Khan, the death threat he is continuously receiving, and now with Shah Rukh Khan who has received a death threat. And this is very interesting to see, because the death threat the call was received by Bandra police in itself. So in Bandra police station, after the call was received, a FIR was lodged, and the investigation started immediately after the call was received. The FIR was registered, and then the number police was trying to trace the number. After the tracing procedure was over, the number was from Raipur, and the one team which Bandra police station made form to investigate into the entire matter went to Raipur and started investigating in this entire matter. After the investigation, they got to know that the number was registered under the name of Faizan, and after that he was detained and was interrogated by the police official. The statement was also taken, and in the statement Faizan said that he has also lodged a complaint in Raipur police station regarding the stolen of his phone, and now the main accused in this entire matter is still unknown, and the police is trying to investigate and try to sort out this thing, what has happened, because police is taking this threat call very seriously, because what has happened in past few days in Mumbai is very, very difficult to for everyone over here. It will be very, very important how police will now investigate in this entire matter. But for now, the major update is that the person from with phone this has been received in Bandra police station. The person named Faizan has been detained. He was interrogated. Statement has been recorded, and now police is investigating who was the main culprit in this entire matter, who called Bandra police station and threatened Shah Rukh Khan.
Right, Abira and Paras, thank you very much for getting us the latest in that story. We'll keep a track of the story as it develops. Meanwhile, Delhi BJP chief Virendra Sachdeva, he has alleged irregularities as far as Delhi's power distribution companies or DISCOMs, that is BSES, NDPL and BYPL are concerned. He suggests that the Delhi government holds a 49% stake in these companies, but allegations suggest that two of them, BSES and BYPL, they have accumulated huge losses while NDPL operates profitably. Mr. Sachdeva also alleges that this disparity raises questions, especially since all three DISCOMs sell electricity at the same rate, now source electricity from the same supplier and utilize the same Transco wire network.
आज आप दिल्ली बीजेपी क्या एलिगेशन लगा रही है, क्या पावर डिस्कॉम्स जो है करप्शन करके लोगों से इन्फ्लेटेड बिल्स के तौर पे पैसे लूट?
मैं बड़ी सिंपल भाषा में एक सवाल अरविंद केजरीवाल से पूछ रहा हूँ कि 21,000 करोड़ से ज़्यादा का एसेट्स आपने दिल्ली की जनता पे डाला है कि नहीं डाला बिजली कंपनियों को लेकर, और क्यों बिजली की कंपनियाँ, दो कंपनियाँ BSES और BYPL, वो 26,000 करोड़ के घाटे में है। आप ये कहते हैं कि मैं दिल्ली की जनता के सारे बिल माफ़ कर दूंगा, सरकार आने दीजिए। आज सरकार किसकी है? सरकार आपकी है, आज ही माफ़ कीजिए ना। दिल्ली में 3 कंपनीज हैं, पिछले 10-12 साल से वो तीनों कंपनी काम कर रही हैं। एक कंपनी फ़ायदे में है जो पैसा कमा रही है और आपको पैसा प्रॉफिट में दे रही है। ये 2 कंपनियां जो घाटे में जा रही हैं, उसका कारण क्या है? उसका कारण सिर्फ ये है कि जो दिल्ली की बिजली कंपनी बनाती हैं, जो इनको बेचती हैं, उसमें पैसे का खेल खेला जाता है, उसमें पॉकेट मनी ली जाती है, किकबैक लिया जाता है, जिससे दिल्ली सरकार को फ़ायदा मिलता है और उसका खामियाजा दिल्ली के आम आदमी के कंज्यूमर को भुगतना पड़ा है विभिन्न टैक्सों के मुकाबले से। और आज भी वो बिजली कंपनी 26,000 करोड़ की डिमांड कर रही हैं कि हमारा 26,000 करोड़ का घाटा है। तो आखिर वो घाटा पूरा कौन करेगा? अरविंद केजरीवाल अपनी जेब से नहीं करेंगे, वो सीधा सीधा दिल्ली की जनता के ऊपर भार पड़ने वाला है। तो अगर बिजली कंपनियां घाटे में जा रही हैं तो फिर उन बिजली कंपनियों को रखने का फ़ायदा क्या है? आप उनका लाइसेंस रद्द क्यों नहीं करते?
Well, so the Delhi BJP chief has alleged irregularities, and as he was speaking to Ishika there, he has said that he has basically alleged irregularities as far as Delhi's power distribution companies are concerned. He has suggested that the government, that is the Delhi government, it holds a 49% stake in these companies, but out of the three, only NDPL is operating profitably. He has also alleged that there is a disparity, especially since all the three discoms, they sell electricity at the same rate. Meanwhile, out of the three, only one is in profit at the moment. He has in fact also raised questions over the source electricity from the same suppliers. He said that all three source electricity from the same suppliers and utilize the same transco wire network, and then raises the question as to why there is this disparity. Meanwhile, it also raises his allegations, in fact, it raises key concerns as far as losses and profitability is concerned. The BSES and BYPL, they have incurred significant losses, whereas NDPL has generated profit, and that is the point that he's trying to make there. As far as the regulatory assets are concerned, he says that the discoms, they owe a lot of money to the Delhi government power companies, with irregularities assets totaling over 21,000 crore. These allegations and what are the implications, we'll try and understand that as well. These allegations suggest that BSES and BYPL, they have become sources of kickback for Aam Aadmi Party. The NDPL's recent profit dividend payment to the Delhi government, it also highlights the inconsistency in the discom's financial performance. Meanwhile, Enforcement Directorate is carrying out searches at premises linked to vendors and sellers of e-commerce giants in multiple cities across India. These searches, they are not on e-commerce on e-commerce giants. In fact, the Enforcement Directorate is conducting these raids across Delhi, Hyderabad, and Mumbai. From what we understand from our sources, it is a pan-India raid that the ED is conducting at the moment. These raids are over alleged foreign exchange violations, and these raids are happening in Delhi. It is happening in Hyderabad as well as in Mumbai. 20 locations are being raided at the moment, and these raids are on various suppliers to the e-com sites. These raids are over alleged foreign exchange violations. All right, breaking news coming in at this moment. Congress has taken action against the Rajasthan rebel. Congress has in fact suspended Naresh Meena, who is contesting the assembly elections as an independent candidate from Deoli Uniara seat after rebelling against the party. So the Congress has taken action against its Rajasthan leader. It has suspended the Rajasthan rebel. The Congress has in fact suspended Naresh Meena, who is contesting the assembly elections as an independent candidate from the Deoli Uniara seat after he rebelled against the party. So after Maharashtra, it is now in Rajasthan that the Congress has taken action against the rebel MPs. It has in fact suspended the Rajasthan rebel, and remember, the bypoll on the Deoli seat is set to take place on the 13th of November. And it is Congress versus the BJP over the constitution. Again, the union minister has launched an attack on the Congress. The BJP says that Rahul Gandhi carries a blank copy of the constitution. Kiran Rijiju said that Congress is insulting the constitution. In fact, the BJP posted a video of what you can see on your screen, a blank constitution copy. The Congress, in the meanwhile, has hit back and said that the BJP has, in fact, systematically assaulted the constitution.
संविधान को हाथ में पकड़ करके नाटक करने का काम जो कांग्रेस पार्टी ने किया है, संविधान को हाथ में पकड़ने से कुछ नहीं होता है। संविधान के अंदर में जो स्पिरिट है उसको समझना होगा। इसलिए नागपुर में नीला रंग का छोड़ करके लाल रंग में संविधान का कवर पिक्चर डाल करके राहुल गांधी ने नकली संविधान बांटने का काम किया। कवर लगाया, कवर के नीचे में कुछ नहीं था, मुझे बताया गया है। संविधान के बारे में ABC नहीं मालूम है राहुल गांधी को। आज कैसे किस मुंह से वो बाबा साहब भीमराव अंबेडकर का नाम ले सकते हैं?
This goes on to prove that they actually questioned Devendra Fadnavis yesterday, questioned the red. Why is Rahul Gandhi holding the red color version of the pocketbook version of the constitution? They have forgotten that the red is something that symbolizes Shakti in Hinduism, and symbolizes feminine energy, strength and power and bravery. And now they're questioning red, saying that why they are holding the red constitution. And if Kiran Rijiju has any doubt, I would love to send him the pocketbook version of the constitution that Rahul Gandhi, shows in the political rally. It's very important here to see that it's the same non-biological PM-led government who has subjected the Constitution of India and its principles, values and institutions to systematic assault in the last 10 years. And we saw how various leaders of Bharatiya Janata Party brought out the slogan of 400 par from Constitution change karenge, and that led them to shrunk to 240 numbers in Parliament. And this led Prime Minister to bow down before the Constitution. So we know who does the drama of Constitution. We know who has led a systematic assault on the downtrodden, on the minorities of the country, who has led the whole partisanship of the constitutional bodies.
All right. In fact, I'm currently joined by my colleague Aishwarya Jain to get us more on this. Aishwarya, just break it down for us, the entire context of this controversy, which has now led the Union Minister to say that, look, Rahul Gandhi is carrying blank copies of the Constitution. Break it down for us.
Well, massive face-off between the Bharatiya Janata Party and Congress over the Samvidhan Sammelan in which Rahul Gandhi took part, and this is all over because of the Constitution of India. On one side it is to defend the Constitution, on the other the Congress Party had been saying that it is only because of Rahul Gandhi that Narendra Modi bowed down in the Samvidhan Sadan when the government came back of the NDA, and this was because of the pressure. There was also two of the pictures that was placed both by the Bharatiya Janata Party and Congress on the red cover of the Constitution. The Congress thinks that red color is Shakti, it's power and strength. According to them, the Bharatiya Janata Party had suggested that the red color clearly indicates of anarchy, urban Naxalism, and that's what Rahul Gandhi is supporting. Remember, the entire controversy started after the video went viral yesterday when Rahul Gandhi was participating in this Samvidhan Sammelan in Nagpur, and with the cover of the Constitution of India that Rahul Gandhi was holding and the copies that were distributed according to the Bharatiya Janata Party, they have alleged that these Constitution copies were completely blank, and this is an insult to the Constitution of India. This is an insult to Baba Saheb Ambedkar, who was the head of the drafting committee of the Constitution. It was also alleged by the Bharatiya Janata Party that it was Jawaharlal Nehru at that point of time who do not want Baba Saheb Ambedkar to be inducted as the law minister in his cabinet, but only after Mahatma Gandhi forced Jawaharlal Nehru, it was Baba Saheb Ambedkar who was inducted and later was removed by Jawaharlal Nehru from the cabinet. But on the other side, it is the Congress Party who had hit out at the Bharatiya Janata Party back again and stated that the draft copies, the Constitution copies that was distributed was just a notepad with Constitution of India cover that was written onto it, and these are fake narratives that are being spread by the Bharatiya Janata Party yet again. Kiran Rijiju, Union Minister, held a press conference and objected to Rahul Gandhi holding these constitutional copies, saying that blue cover constitutional copies are the right one, instead red color pocket size constitution copies, something Rahul Gandhi is holding, which is an insult to the Constitution of India. But remember, this fight is just not began in the Maharashtra Assembly elections. This has been started since the last elections when, the general elections were going on, and it was all the fight when Rahul Gandhi and Congress party had been saying that they are fighting these elections to defend the Constitution of India, and ultimately the Congress party had got over 99 seats and Bharatiya Janata Party was reduced to just 240. But clearly, the face-off continues. There had been different versions from both BJP and Congress, but it will only, these controversies, whether this will affect the elections of Maharashtra or not, and voters will be affected or not, is something that remains to be seen.
All right, Aishwarya Jain, thank you very much for getting us all the latest and breaking it down for our viewers as well. Time for a very short break. More news and updates on the other side.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro, world's first AI-powered pro-grade camera. NDTV proudly upholds its legacy of trust and credibility. According to the prestigious Reuters Institute's Digital News Report 2024, NDTV is the top-most news platform in the country. #1 in both online and offline reach in India. Beating all its competition, NDTV stands for trust.
Hello and welcome to India Sense, where I speak with global opinion makers.
The United States has made a strategic decision over the last 20 years to move closer to India.
Our $7 trillion economy seems a perfectly conceivable number.
If you want to be a national party, it's that you sort of accept the way the world is rather than want to endlessly hark back to how it was.
Modi is promoting the digitization of the economy, which is accelerating growth in the country.
तालियों के साथ हम स्वागत करेंगे आदरणीय मोदी जी का।
छत्रपति शिवाजी महाराज की।
घोषणा आणि जनतेचे पैसे लुटणं.
Welcome back. Punjab Congress Chief Raja Waring, he has sparked a controversy. This while he was campaigning for his wife Amrita Waring for the upcoming Gidirbaha by-poll. He said, and I quote, "She goes out at 6 a.m. wearing lipstick and a bindi and returns at 11 p.m. She is of no use to me. She has gone out of my hands." These are the words that the Punjab leader has used. Now, the BJP has slammed the Punjab Congress chief's remarks, calling them sexist. However, the Congress party has defended the remarks, saying that Waring's remarks are being taken out of context to divert attention from important issues. Union Minister of State for Railways, Ravneet Singh Bittu, he found the comment offensive and disrespectful to all working women.
ਕਾਂਗਰਸ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਦੇ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਪ੍ਰਧਾਨ ਨੇ ਰਾਜਾ ਵੜਿੰਗ ਸਾਹਿਬ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਮੈਂ ਕਿਤੇ ਸਪੀਚ ਕਿਸੇ ਚੈਨਲ ਤੇ ਸੁਣ ਰਿਹਾ ਸੀ। ਮੈਨੂੰ ਸੁਣ ਕੇ ਬੜੀ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਹੈਰਾਨੀ ਹੋਈ, ਉੱਥੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੀਆਂ, ਚਲੋ ਗੱਲ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਬੇਸ਼ੱਕ ਕਰਦੀ ਆ, ਪਰ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਉਹ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੇ ਪ੍ਰਧਾਨ ਨੇ, ਲੁਧਿਆਣੇ ਤੋਂ ਮੈਂਬਰ ਪਾਰਲੀਮੈਂਟ ਨੇ, ਕੀ ਸੇਧ ਦੇ ਰਹੇ ਆ ਉਹ ਸਾਡੀਆਂ ਭੈਣਾਂ ਨੂੰ, ਸਾਡੀਆਂ ਬੇਟੀਆਂ ਨੂੰ, ਉਹ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਕੀ ਚਾਹ ਰਹੇ ਆ।
बातों को तोड़ मरोड़ कर इन सारे मुद्दों को भटकाने की कोशिश की जा रही है। हरियाणा और पंजाब में आज मुद्दा है डीएपी उपलब्ध ना होना। कौन नीला कमीज पहनता है, कौन सफेद कमीज पहनता है, कौन लिपस्टिक लगाता है या कौन नहीं लगाता, ये मुद्दे नहीं है। वो महिलाओं की अपनी मर्जी है कि वो क्या वेशभूषा या किस प्रकार का मेकअप करें, उसमें मैं या आप कौन है सवाल उठाने वाले।
मैं तमो गया जमा कर जब न्याणे निके निके
ਤੇ ਘਰ ਵਾਲੀ ਤੜਕੇ ਸੁਰਖੀ ਬਿੰਦੀ ਲਾ ਕੇ ਨਿਕਲ ਜਾਂਦੀ 6 ਵਜੇ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਰਾਤ ਨੂੰ 11 ਵਜੇ ਉੱਠ ਕੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਤਾਂ ਗੁਲਗੁਲੇ ਪੱਕ ਗਈ ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਮੇਰੇ ਤਾਂ ਕੰਮੋਂ ਗਈ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੱਚੀ ਗੱਲ ਆ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੱਸੋ 6 ਵਜੇ ਜਨਾਨੀ ਜਾਵੇ ਤੇ 11 ਵਜੇ ਆਵੇ ਤੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਗੱਲ ਕੰਮ ਦੀ ਬੋਲੋ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਕੋਈ ਨਾਗਰੀ ਭਾਲ ਦਿਓ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮੇਰੀਆਂ ਰੋਟੀਆਂ ਰਾਟੀਆਂ ਪਕਾ ਛੱਡਿਆ ਕਰੇ ਇਹ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਵਿਆਹ ਮਕਲਾਵੇ ਚੱਲ ਪੈਣਗੇ ਭੋਗ ਚੱਲ ਪੈਣਗੇ ਜਗਰਾਤੇ ਚੱਲ ਪੈਣਗੇ ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਡੀਕੇ ਕਰੂੰਗਾ ਵੀ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਹੈ ਮਿਲ ਜਾ ਕੇ 2 ਮਿੰਟ ਆ ਕੇ ਹੋਰ ਕੀ ਹੋਊਗਾ ਬੇਬੇ ਦੱਸ ਇਹੀ ਹੋਰ ਕਿਉਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਪਤਾ ਵੀ ਨਾ ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਇੱਧਰ ਗਿਆ ਤਾਂ ਵੀ ਮਰਿਆ ਤੇ ਇੱਧਰ ਗਿਆ ਤਾਂ ਵੀ ਮਰਿਆ ਤੇ ਹੁਣ ਇਹ ਨਾ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਤਗੜੇ ਕਰ ਦਿਓ ਚਲੋ ਕੰਮ ਸੇ ਨਾਲ ਇੱਜ਼ਤਮਾਨ ਤਾਂ ਕਰੂਗੀ ਜਿੱਤ ਕੇ ਵੀ ਚੱਲੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਘਰ ਵਾਲੇ ਨੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਖਸਮ ਨੇ ਜਿਤਾਇਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਤਾਂ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਕੰਮ ਹੋ ਜਾਵਾ
All right, my colleague Gurpreet Singh Chinna joins us to get us more on this. Gurpreet, these are very poor choice of words by the Punjab leader, the Congress leader, that has led to this controversy. Just break it down for us because a war of words has now started.
Well, yes, we have seen the Congress chief Amrinder Singh Rajavading. He has given a statement while holding a campaign for his own wife, and we have seen it has already created a political row in the state of Punjab. We have seen the minister from the BJP, Ravneet Singh Bittu, he has already condemned and criticized. He's saying his statement is depicting a different picture because it seems he has disrespected the women by giving such type of a statement. Though we have seen Rajavading, he was giving an example of his own wife, but he says in the public domain, if such type of the statement is coming from the Congress chief, it hurts the sentiments of the women. And we have seen the minister from the BJP, he has already asked to apologize on this issue. A few minutes back, we have seen the Congress leader Randeep Singh Surjewala. He has already backed Amrinder Singh Rajavading, saying that it seems his statement is being distorted and twisted for the political gain. We have seen even Amarta Vring, he has also given a defense of Amrinder Singh Rajavading. He says the main reason for giving this statement to give a message to the masses that his wife has been working from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. but he does not want to disrespect any woman. So let's see what type of reaction will be coming from Amrinder Singh Rajavading, because we have seen the BJP minister has already asked him to apologize publicly so that it should not disrespect the women. So let's see that how the politics will be played on this issue. We have seen it has already created a political row in the state of Punjab and specifically in the by-poll which is happening in Gidarba. Back to studio.
All right, Gurpreet Singh Chinna, thank you very much for getting us the latest from the ground on that story. Meanwhile, we'll slip into a very short break, but do stay tuned for our special show that we are doing at 5:30. Australia is soon to ban social media for kids under the age of 16. Should other countries follow suit? That is the question we are asking. You can call on that number that you can see on your screens for that. Time for a very short break.
I want to thank the American people for the extraordinary honor of being elected your 47th president.
Donald triumphs. What does Trump's win mean for America, for the world, for the wars, and for India-US relations? Non-stop coverage on NDTV. Top analysts and voices from the ground. Extensive coverage on NDTV.
NDTV proudly presents NDTV World Summit 2024, the India Century. I now request the Honorable Prime Minister to launch NDTV World and address the summit.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi's inaugural session at the NDTV Summit outlined his vision for the India Century, driven by aspirational India.
हमारा प्रयास होगा भारत की सेंचुरी सिर्फ भारत की नहीं बल्कि पूरी मानवता की जीत की सेंचुरी बने.
The summit brought together prominent global leaders, highlighting India's pivotal role on the world stage.
Not just
Indians trusting India's leadership, but the global south especially trusting India's leadership.
Permanent seat on the UN Security Council is something that should be India's right.
Canada is concerned, I think there are some very specific issues. I think a lot of people know that.
AI is going to be one of the most important, drivers.
It's a very exciting time for India, Indian cinema as well at a global level.
NDTV World Summit was more than just a conversation. It was a confluence of ideas poised to shape our global future.
I now request the Honorable Prime Minister to launch NDTV World and address the summit.
It was the grand launch of NDTV World by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. NDTV World, as he laid out his vision for the India century at the NDTV World Summit.
ऐसी सदी जिसमें भारत के प्रयासों से दुनिया में स्थिरता आए,
in the presence of those who are shaping our future.
मेरी तरफ से आपको ढेर सारी शुभकामनाएं।
All right, welcome back. Breaking news coming in at this point. Supreme Court has refused to transfer the trial in the RG Kaur rape murder case from West Bengal to other state. The top court has in fact refused to transfer the trial of the RG Kaur Medical College rape and murder case from West Bengal to other state. This decision comes after the court reviewed the progress made by the West Bengal government in implementing safety measures in medical colleges, including the installation of CCTV cameras, construction of toilets and separate resting rooms. This decision is significant given the widespread protests and demands for justice by the junior doctors and the public. The case, remember, had sparked outrage, with many questioning the safety of women in medical institutions. There have been a lot of key concerns and questions that have been raised with respect to this particular case as far as the trial progress is concerned. Safety measures that have been taken into account for the women who are working in these institutions as far as the investigation and prevention of similar incidents is concerned. And now the Supreme Court has refused to transfer the trial from West Bengal to other state. Let's go across to my colleague Sunil Prabhu, who joins us to get us more on this. Sunil, just provide us more detail on the Supreme Court's decision and the reasoning behind this particular decision.
Well, a number of factors. I think today was the last day for the Chief Justice of India, who had suo moto taken up this entire matter of the RG car when it had really sparked off a public outcry, not only in the state, but across the country. And it's in that backdrop that today the Chief Justice of India, while winding up, has made it clear that at present they don't see any reason for it to be shifted. In fact, taking umbrage at certain lawyers who were saying about self-gratification, saying we don't need your gratuitous remarks about whether it is self-contradictory or not. And even though he clarified that it was for the CBI, the Chief Justice of India was talking tough. Also on another lawyer who was saying that, the people of West Bengal have lost faith in the judiciary as well as the administration. He asked, who are you representing and why are you, you have to come on oath and explain why you're making a comment like this. And it's in that backdrop that the Chief Justice of India and his bench perused the entire status report, looked at various aspects and made it clear that they are quite clear that it should continue. They're quite confident with the judge and the CBI's investigation, as well as that there will be a provision for a further charge sheet if required. Even the parents of the victim, the lawyer made it clear that they're quite happy with what is happening in Calcutta, and we don't want anything to be destabilized at this present juncture and not allow strangers to intervene in this at this present moment. So some tough words, And of course, the Supreme Court has also taken note of this cabinet secretary's what is called a National Task Force report. It has marked it to all state chief secretaries and all state governments and everybody who are interveners and who are part of the entire deliberations to go back in 3 weeks and revert back to the measures and the steps that have been given in the report and whether they can be implemented or not and how they take it forward. This was, of course, the last opportunity for the Chief Justice of India, who was with his fellow judges at the Supreme Court. He said his brother judges, Justice Padiwala as well as Justice Manoj Mishra, will continue to be on the bench once the new Chief Justice of India rosters it. And it's in that backdrop that they will continue to monitor and ensure what was promised and what has been envisaged will be taken to its logical conclusion.
All right, Sunil Prabhu, thank you very much for getting us all the latest in that breaking news story. Meanwhile, Bollywood star Shah Rukh Khan, he has received a threatening call from Raipur. A case was registered in Bandra police station in Mumbai. The Mumbai police have in fact registered a case, and a team has reached Chhattisgarh capital Raipur as well, where a young person named Faizan, who allegedly made these calls after multiple threats to Salman Khan. Now Shah Rukh Khan has received these threat calls. So Bollywood's King Khan, he has got a threat call. Mumbai police has registered this case. The Mumbai police in fact traced the call to Raipur, the capital of Chhattisgarh, and has sent a team to Chhattisgarh as well. Remember, Shah Rukh Khan has got multiple threats got this threat after multiple threats were given to Salman Khan. What the police is saying is that the call was made from a stolen phone, and the owner of the phone is now in custody, is what the police is saying at the moment. And my colleague Abira joins us to get us more on this story.